Hello. It's a Friday. Wow. Welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. Before we get into anything, I just want to go over some housekeeping related things. First of all, I'm so sorry if you can hear my fan. It's very, very humid today. And I just can't not have a fan on right now. It's in the far, far, far recesses of my room. So hopefully it's not too much noise, but if it is, I'm really sorry. Hopefully it's not too disturbing. Second, I owe an apology. I'm a dumbass. I definitely thought that Hanada-san was a woman, and he is not. He's not. And I feel so stupid, so silly. Gosh golly. Not the smartest moment of my life. I was so confidently wrong. I'm really sorry for misleading anybody and also misgendering this poor man. Third, Nivect, formerly known as Nivectical, the company that made this game, just released a teaser trailer for a new game, which looks so cool so far. Really similar to either Somnium Files, 13 Sentinels, maybe a little bit of like Ace Attorney Danganronpa feel. And then finally, just to remind you that there is still that link in my bio for Ukraine. And unfortunately, it's still an ongoing issue. Also, sorry, I'm like, my neck and shoulders are fucking killing me today because I had such bad posture at work because my setup is so not ergonomic. And yet, we are forced to go. Anyway, if you remember last time where we left off, we met Yukimasa of this time period. He's a little different, but he's just as menacing as before. We found out that Mel was intimidated into selling out Morgana simply because Yukimasa threatened him and threatened to kill Nellie. And then we also met Maria. And through Maria, we learned that the nun's real name is Pauline. She did take on the saint name Marie, but she is Pauline, as we suspected. And Maria seems to have taken up the work of being a prostitute, which sex workers are valid, not gonna lie. But we don't really know why yet. And now we're gonna find out more about their whole backstory, so let's get into this. An orphanage. Yep, neither of us had parents or family, so we were raised in an orphanage. Beyond the second door, Pauline had a family and seemed to be quite well off. I guess that's not the case here. So you grew up together then? Sister Marie's never told me about her childhood before. I don't like to talk about the past. Not the best of memories, after all. I'd say we're both lucky we made it this far in life. Do you still keep in touch with that shit heap of a director? Now, don't talk about him like that. He's not a bad person. Yeah, I know. In your mind, everyone's not a bad person. He isn't, really. But yes, he stops by occasionally to check in. He was the one who set me on the path to becoming a nun. He always was fond of you. Perfect little angel you were. I doubt he liked me any more than anyone else. Compared to you, I was a damn gremlin. You were a naughty girl, weren't you, Maria? Naughtiest girl around. I'd throw rocks at the walls, making all these little holes, and one time I even filled the director's shoe with dog shit. That would make anyone angry. I wasn't always a little twat, mind you. The director either loved you or hated you. There was no middle ground. And if he didn't like you, life was hell. He'd make you go down without supper or force you to sleep outside. Shit like that. That's awful. I had no idea he was doing that to you. You could have said something. Like that would have made a difference. You adored the damn director. You never would have believed me over him. Once you put your trust in someone, you refuse to believe they could be anything less than perfect. Completely blinded by faith. I don't... You do. The only reason you're willing to believe me now is because it's been so long, and because there are other people here. This would probably be a good time to step in, Michelle. Change the subject or something. I feel kind of bad for her. How long were you two together? Until we were around 10, I think? Does that sound about right? Sounds about right, yeah. I got fed up with everything and ran off. Ended up at a brothel. Been a whore ever since. It's been, what, 10 years now? I'm practically a veteran. Did you like life at the brothel better than the orphanage, Maria? Between the two, I'd take the brothel any day. There, I've got friends and colleagues. Although, I did lose a whole bunch of them 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
I remember hearing word of a brothel raided by bandits around that same time. Is that where you worked, Maria? Yep, what a nightmare that was. I mean, why the hell would you raid a whorehouse? Why not go after some noble's estate or the damn lord, for that matter?
Brothel? Raided by bandits. 4 years ago.
What's the matter? Trying to make those forehead wrinkles permanent?
I know I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm beginning to think Maria might have had some contact with Morgana in life as well.
Oh?
4 years ago would make Morgana 12, and where was she then? I have a question for you, Maria. Was there a girl by the name of Morgana at that brothel?
You know Morgana?
So my suspicion was right.
Yeah, Morgana was there. Me and the other girls looked after her together. But after the bandits raised the place, I never saw her again. What a travesty that was. It was chaos. Only a handful of us even survived. I figured she'd either been killed or sold off somewhere. But if you know her, that means she's alive, right? That's great to hear. I've been worried about her ever since. Michelle, Morgana's the saintess's name, isn't it? That's what you told me. Huh? Saintess?
That's right, Nellie. That is indeed the name of the person who performed your miracle.
And she's locked up in the tower now. Locked up? You told Nellie all that nonsense too, Michelle? It's not nonsense. Mel told me everything. It's all true. He feels terrible about what he's done, but he can't set her free by himself. Now you too. We need the other 2 keys. The Lord has one and his bodyguard has another. After learning the truth, I knew I had to tell you. But I was too afraid you wouldn't believe me.
I don't think she does.
And if you didn't believe me, something bad might happen to Mel. It's not good to tell lies, Nellie. And the same goes for your brother as well. The Lord stores his valuables in that tower. That's why it's locked up and you can't get in. Or are all 3 of you after his wealth? Of course not. And you, Michelle, you need to stop planting these strange suspicions and... See, this is exactly what I was talking about. You haven't changed one bit. You won't even give someone the time of day if they're saying anything that contradicts someone you've decided to trust. In the watchtower, was it? Can you not bust the door down? I'm still lost as hell here, but the long and short of it is, Morgana might be in that tower.
She is, yes. It might be possible to break down the door with a dozen or so people to help, but that's infeasible. Besides, opening the door isn't our only objective.
So we need the other keys.
Correct.
It's not true. He would never do that to someone. People think he's scary and mean, but they're wrong. He's a sweet, respectable man. He would never lock up an innocent girl. Even though everyone else is saying he would. If I don't believe in him, then who will?
So you are more than acquaintances. If you really have that much faith in his goodness, then tell us that after you've seen what he's done. Pauline.
Assuming, hypothetically, there really is someone in that tower. There's nothing I could do about it. I'm a nun. I have no real authority here. I'm just a pretty face.
Nevertheless, he started this to help you. So if you tell him to stop, he might actually listen.
Please, Sister Marie. Help us set the saintess free. Your ability to trust someone so completely is actually pretty amazing. But if you let it turn into blind faith, it'll come back and bite you in the ass. Could I please ask the two of you to leave? An old friend of mine might be being held prisoner right now. And you expect me to just scamper on home? Go.
She is a little too innocent, perhaps. But I don't think her faith is entirely blind. You are a woman who is capable of making decisions for herself. I know you are. Yes, you've placed your complete faith in one man, but that hasn't stopped you from considering what you should do with your own life. You were never short-sighted.
We only met yesterday. What could you possibly know about me? Give me some time. Until tomorrow. Time to think about what to do.
As you wish.
So, is that all really true?
It is.
How do you know any of that, though?
Because... what story should I go with this time? Should I use the letter again?
Forget it. That's not important. The pipsqueak ain't one to go throwing around accusations like that for shits. Point is, I'll take your word for it. And if we get the door open and it turns out there's no one there, no harm done. Thank you, Maria. Oh my god. Okay, so here's my thing. This statement right here. Why don't you just go open the door? If it is the valuables, and you're already being trusted to keep it a secret, then you can just go and look and see, oop, no one's in here, and then it's over. And then you just, like, get rid of this guy who's telling rumors or whatever. Thank you, Maria.
So you believe me?
You're not lying, are you?
No, I'm not.
Then that's that. Frustrating part is, winning over a whore isn't going to get you very far towards fixing anything.
That's not true. Just knowing you believe in me is reassuring.
If you say so.
Could I ask you something? You did come here in search of the Lord, didn't you? He has the third key, without which we cannot get into the tower. My gut tells me you're the one who's going to make that possible.
Why would you think that?
Because you have a very strong connection to him. You may think I sound crazy, but your souls are inextricably bound together.
Our souls? Don't even joke.
I know how it sounds, but that's the only way.
Okay, you got me. I'm done lying. You're right, I came here looking for the Lord. There's rumors going around say he's been seen coming in and out of the church here. so I figured I'd take the opportunity to cave his fucking skull in.
You... what?
What you gonna do about it? Call the guards on me?
No, I won't. But tell me, why do you want to kill him?
Why, what are you not from around here? Well, you should know he's one hell of an aggressive ruler. I won't deny he's done wonders for the economy. The city's a great place to be if you're a merchant. Taxes are lower than anywhere else, and all you need is enough money and you can buy citizenship. But for the people who've lived here our whole lives, the poor, the peasants, those who need the most help, it's only getting harder to stay afloat. The gap's getting bigger by the day. On the main streets looking lavish and lively, people are literally starving to death on the back streets. He tore down this vineyard that's been around for generations to make room for more shops. And sure, you can import some damn fine wine from some other city. But where does that lead everyone who can't afford it?
That reminds me. In the third door, he ran some other company's factory out of business for his own profit. Different businesses, same practices. Giselle?
The merchants, especially those who came in from other cities, get treated like kings, but the Lord still has plenty of enemies.
Ah, I see. So you're someone who doesn't think highly of him, then?
Pretty much.
What would killing one man accomplish, though?
Not much, probably. It'd make me feel a hell of a lot better, though.
Do you not actually know the Lord in person, then?
I've met him before, so I know what to look for. But that's about it. There's none of this, oh, what'd you call it? Inextricably linked souls crap. No fucking thank you.
Maria says she's met him. And Morgana mentioned seeing prostitutes at the Lord's Manor when she was first taken there. Could she have been one of them, then?
Changing the subject a bit, there's something I wanted to ask you about Pauline.
Huh?
Frankly, her being a nun doesn't make a damn lick of sense to me.
What do you mean?
I mean, this isn't what she wanted with her life. When we were kids, at the orphanage, she wasn't exactly this pillar of faith. We said grace before meals, but only because those were the rules. A ceremony, nothing more to it.
She appears to be quite devout to me.
I'm thinking something had to have made her that way. Forced her into the role. The girl I knew was pretty unexceptional. Had her head in the clouds, though, so we never really got along. But she was always talking about how when she left the orphanage, she'd find the perfect man, fall in love, get married. You could practically see the hearts in her eyes. They'd buy a comfortable house, have a few kids, maybe get a dog. It'd be a happy family. Warm, peaceful. And every time she told me this, I'd snort and tell her she needed to get herself a more original dream, at which point she'd start crying and calling me mean.
Wow. Maria was an impressively jaded 10-year-old girl.
She was a girl in love with love. And now she's a bloody nun. I guess it kind of makes sense as an extension of her unwavering trust shtick. But I mean, come on, surely she could have chosen someone better to put that trust in. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, as unreceptive as she was back there, she wasn't doing it maliciously. Not that I have any right to defend her after all the shit I gave her about it.
You know, you're making it very hard whether to tell whether you like her or not.
Don't think too hard about it. Just sticking up for an old acquaintance. Anyway, I think I'll head back. As concerned as I am about Morgana, there ain't much I can do. Bride's not gonna believe the ramblings of some whore, especially now when she's making accusations about the damn Lord. That part's gonna be the real bitch, I figure. If there's anything I can do, let me know. You can find me at the brothel in town. Well, I'm off.
It's late. I'm not sure how safe it is for you to be wandering around in the dark alone. Maybe I should accompany you.
Don't worry, this is my home turf. And besides, if someone did attack, I'm pretty sure I could outrun you. And overpower you at that.
Ugh, the worst part is she's probably right. But
Maria, I do worry about you. However, I'm very aware that you are carrying weapons right this moment. And I trust you to be able to handle yourself more than I can handle you. See you later. I appreciate the thought. See ya.
Hold on a second.
Something else you needed?
I would like, if you could, for you to tell me about the time you spent with Morgana. Anything you can, no matter how insignificant it may seem. I want to know what kind of life she had there.
How's tomorrow sound?
Tomorrow?
I'll sneak into the courtyard tomorrow night. Meet me there and I'll tell you what you want to know.
Why not now, though?
No real reason. Just need a little time to sort things through. See you tomorrow night. Stay warm.
And Michelle, she needs to think about it too, because she thought this girl was dead. Not even a chance to get another word in. So I feel like I'm dressed much warmer than her. Tomorrow night. That doesn't leave us with much time. Giselle.
Hello. What is it?
You've been so quiet. I was getting concerned. It's good to know you're still there.
I guess I sort of dozed off for a bit. I'm fine though, no need to worry.
Are you sure?
I think we should head back too. We've done about everything we can today.
You're right. Running into Maria was a great stroke of luck. Thanks to her, we now have confirmation that the nun is indeed Pauline. And we've potentially convinced Pauline to try to talk to the swordsman.
Depending on how things pan out tomorrow, we could be getting very close to accomplishing our goal. I'm sure it'll be smooth sailing, just like with Mel.
It will not. I certainly hope so.
Giselle, look at who we're dealing with. So before you go to sleep, do you want to talk for a bit?
Always. Of course. In fact, I was about to ask you the same thing.
That's what you say, but on the inside you actually enjoy being surrounded by girls more than talking to me, don't you?
And you seem to enjoy teasing me.
I'm just kidding.
Truthfully, I don't think I've ever wished you were there to save me more than then. I've never been comfortable in such spirited environments.
Put 3 women in a room and it'll get like that, yeah. It can be overstimulating.
I could not have been more out of my element.
I don't know. You seem to fit in pretty well to me.
You really think so?
You made for a great plaything.
Oh yes, I'm quite good at that, aren't I? I will say, there was one thing about the whole affair that surprised me.
Oh? What would that be?
I did not expect I would be able to have such a normal social interaction, and not because I'm awkward or a poor conversationalist. For most of my life, I was cursed, irregular. You were the only one who didn't treat me like that. That came to be what I saw as normal. And as such, being able to participate in a social gathering like that is a very exotic sensation. It feels almost like it shouldn't be possible.
You are normal, Michelle. An ordinary man.
This right here. This is what I wish I had always had in life. For me to finally attain it in death. Though I suppose lamenting the details would make me ungrateful. I am glad to have had the experience, though.
I'm glad to hear it. So, I know I've been talking about how much I want to save Morgana, and that hasn't changed. Neither has my desire to change everyone's future. If you want to leave this place, to go somewhere far away and to have a life of your own, you have my full support. You've got everything you ever wanted. You have the right to choose to stay here, live in this time.
I wouldn't dream of it. I am not going to leave you trapped in that darkness. I will not make the same mistake twice. Regardless, there's no point in me choosing a life without you there as well, in the flesh.
Okay then. Well, I'll be in here waiting.
Hopefully not for long. I really think Morgana and I have a great deal in common.
What?
One the daughter of God, one a demon child. We were both forced into inhuman roles, living lives of solitude, constantly having things we cared about taken away from us, including, ultimately, our lives. The big difference between me and her is that I had you. If you hadn't been there at the end of my mortal life, perhaps I too would have grown to despise those who put me through such misery, curse their very souls. She had no one, though. Not a single person to be there for her in final days.
From what she told us, though, her life wasn't all sorrow and misery. She did eventually come to find happiness in her time at the brothel.
In fact, she's even said that was where she learned to experience joy. While I know there were a number of girls there, if Maria was one of them she was particularly close with, perhaps her being here could have a positive effect on Morgana.
We'll have to see what she says tomorrow night.
That we will. And then our time limit is noon the next day. So we'll need to have everything necessary figured out by then. Everything it will take for her to have a change of heart.
I'm not worried one bit. I have complete confidence in you, Michelle.
I am somewhat worried.
What's there to worry about? Here, I'll shout, you can do it 100 times.
So you're planning to cheer me to death?
I just want every last bit of you to know I'm rooting for you.
I assure you, you've made that abundantly clear.
Hey, there was something I wanted to tell you, if that's all right.
Yes?
When I learned about your past and about your body, it came as a big shock to me. That said, I'm confident you know that my feelings for you haven't changed one bit.
I do.
But what I want you to know even if I found out back then, instead of having waited hundreds of years for you to return, my feelings still would not have changed. If you had told me while we were alive, I would have still accepted you. Now, of course, I know it's not something you could have come out with so easily, especially considering everything you went through because of it. We only lived together for a little over a year, and we were only partners for a month. So I understand how difficult it would have been to think I wouldn't push you away. But I'm not sure you grasped just how much I loved you, even then. My wounds ran deeper than even I knew. And them fully healing was simply not possible. Anyone else's touch, anyone else's warmth, my heart and body would have rejected. I sincerely wish I had expressed that to you more clearly. That it had to be you, that I needed you.
I did believe at the time that I could start over with you. That we could have a normal life together. Well, I fooled myself into believing it. But I could never rid myself of the guilt and shame. At how it was impossible for me to give that to you. I would imagine our future together. You smiling with our children, with our children in your arms, playing with them, scolding them, teaching them. And then I would remember I am incapable of giving you those children, of even engaging in the prerequisite acts. more I wished for your happiness, the tighter that guilt constricted me. I do apologize for not saying anything.
You carried far more weight than any one person should ever have to carry alone. But you don't have to do that anymore. For one, I'll support you no matter what. And in this time, you're normal to everyone, not only me. You have allies. You don't have to take everything on yourself anymore. I love you, Michelle. I do. I absolutely adore you.
Where is this coming from?
I wanted to say it, so I did. Is that a problem?
No problem.
You're blushing, aren't you? Your cheeks are as red as tomatoes. I wish I could see you now.
I'm going to open the window.
Why? It's night. It's going to be cold.
Exactly, I need to cool down. They're so cute, I could die.
What are you eyeing at?
It's the spring snow. It's gorgeous.
Look at his little face!
Help, he's so cute. There was hardly a cloud when I was outside earlier, and now it's snowing.
Are you worried Maria might catch something out in this weather?
Hopefully she's in bed by now. I've never seen it snow in the spring before.
Wow, what a handsome boy.
Maybe. I just wasn't paying any attention to what lay beyond the dark walls of that house.
Maybe.
Have you?
Have I
seen a springtime snow before?
3 or 4 times, perhaps. So not very often, no.
Huh. So you've seen this already?
Would it have been better if I hadn't?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just thought it would be nice if it was the first time for both of us.
You sound like a little kid.
Is it that childish? Well, I don't mind either way. I'm still glad my first time seeing it isn't alone. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Little specks of white drifting through the darkness.
Yes, I can see it. It's beautiful. I'm happy I could see this with you too.
My butt's falling asleep.
You don't want the wind to cool you off too much now. I think it's time for you to warm back up.
Sorry, I was so engrossed by the sight.
Maybe it'll stick and you can see it again tomorrow. The grounds would be quite lovely covered in snow. But for now, you should get some sleep.
I suppose.
You already passed out once today. You need to make sure you're well rested.
Hard to argue with that. I'll be counting on your help again tomorrow. Our success or failure depends on how tomorrow goes.
That it does. Let's make it count.
Good night, Giselle.
Good night, Michelle. Boy. One more day until her death. Oh, hello, basement.
Huh? My head. Feels like someone drove a spike through it. What's going on? Am I in the cellar? My hands are tied up behind my back. What am I doing down here? Wait. Giselle. Giselle? Say something, Giselle. Unable to make any sort of sense out of my circumstances, it's not long after I regain consciousness that panic begins to sink in. And the most unsettling thing of all, the most frightening detail, is the fact that I can't hear her voice. Awake, are we? Oh, this song again. It's been a while. Are you the one who brought me here? What, you don't remember this morning? Right. I woke up because I heard someone enter the room. And then he hit me over the head. You're not dead, at least. That's good. What do you hope to accomplish by tying me up and bringing me down here? Remember what I said last night at supper? About me putting on a little sideshow for you. What? I was reenacting the Last Supper, with you as the guest of honor. Oh, now I see. When you were asking if I had any family or friends, you were trying to find out if anyone would notice if I disappeared, if anyone would make any noise. You're sharper than you look. If only you'd caught on yesterday. Please, Giselle, say something. Giselle! Why won't you answer me? Why can't I hear your voice? Why can't I feel you there? You're a quiet one. I thought you'd be a little louder. What made you decide to get rid of me? Did the nun say something? She has nothing to do with this. I have permission from the Lord to act at my own discretion, should I come across anyone acting suspicious. This doesn't seem in the least bit wrong to you. I wouldn't say that. You were an acquaintance's friend who made a long trip to come see him, and I have you tied up in the cellar. That's not what I would consider right, no. But seeing as you're good enough friends for him to let you stay here, I assume he's also spilled everything. He never had what it took, that boy. If I were to guess, it got to be too much for him to handle, so he went to a friend, to you. Leave him out of this. I see. So how much did he tell you? If you come clean, I might even let you go. Get rid of him, have you take his place. I said leave him out of this! So you're determined not to talk, are you? What a loyal friend. Listen to me! Listen. Oh, I'm listening. There's the Yukimasa face. Because you have a lot of talking to do. I don't have many chances to let loose. So I'll be taking as much time as I can get today. He says it in an eerily flat tone of voice as he draws near, pausing between each step as if to taunt me. And when he reaches me, struggling to get off the ground, he slams his heel into my shoulder. Not being able to use your hands makes you appreciate how much easier it is to stand up when you can, doesn't it? Help! Someone, please! Help! Don't waste your energy. No one ever comes back this far. And the door is so heavy, your screams would never make it out. But that's the least of your worries. The door to the cellar has been locked, and the only key is right here. There's no getting in. If you can run fast enough, you might have a chance of making it to the door and escaping. Want to test your luck? I doubt you can make it. He puts the full weight of his body into his heel, pressing down on my spine, turning my breaths into gasping sputters. I gather together all of my strength, but even that isn't enough to overpower him. Honestly, Yukimasa, if you could come here and crack my back, my shoulders for me, that would be really great, thanks. Now you're going to tell me everything. What are you and the boy scheming? What's your end game? Who else is in on it? Damn it. I don't have many options here. What can I even do in this situation? Tell me what I want to know, and maybe I'll let you live. I guess I have no choice but to tell him the truth. Alright, fine. I'll tell you everything. Just know that this isn't some attempt to beg for mercy. I came to this mansion in order to unlock the door to the observation tower and free Morgana. Mel was not the one who told me about her, though. I went to him and asked for his assistance. He didn't have to tell me, because I already knew. Both about her and what you're doing to her, stealing her blood and making medicine from it. Who told you then? Morgana did. Morgana's soul told me everything. I'm not from this time. I lived in a time after her death. It takes me several moments to process what just happened. A fire runs up my arms from my little finger, only turning into pain when it finally reaches my brain. I twist my head back to see the man on top of me, holding my right hand. My fingers snap backwards at the second joint. I'll ask you again. Who told you? Morgana did. She dies on the day of the Harvest Festival. Next up is your ring finger, and then your middle if you insist on keeping this up. I'm telling you the truth. She bears so much hatred. She casts a curse on your souls. I've seen what happens in your next life. Now you're resorting to souls and next lives. I'm genuinely impressed. What lies are you going to cook up next, white-haired knave? If I don't set Morgana free, your souls will be enslaved for all eternity. Imprisoned in this cursed mansion. When the bell tolls noon, on the day of the Harvest Festival, you'll lose everything. All of you will. You cannot escape it unless you do something. And the nun, the reason you locked Morgana up in the first place, she won't be safe either. She'll be killed. Two fingers left. Can you keep that act up that long? Everything I'm saying is the truth. I've seen it all with my own two eyes. Why are you so insistent on maintaining this farce? Is it to protect the boy, or do you have some other motive? Every last word is true. Continuing to lie isn't going to make this any easier. Your voice is shaking. The pain's starting to get to you, isn't it? What you're doing to Morgana, it achieves nothing. You must release her and atone for your sins. Otherwise your soul, and the souls of those you care about, will be doomed to suffering. I see what this is now. You don't have the information I want, so all you can do is spin these lies. You thick-skulled bastard! Yep, that's him. There are other options, though. Beg me for mercy. Sob like a little child, sniveling your "please don't kill me's" and "I don't want to die's" and "it hurts so bad, please stops." Grovel on the ground, you tiny, pathetic man. And if you can entertain me, maybe I'll consider it. I will never shed another tear. And I will never beg for your damn mercy. Nothing I've said to you has been a lie. Some cheap attempt to fool you into letting me go. Every word of it is true. I know the sins you burden your soul with. I know the fate that awaits you in your next life. And I will gladly tell you every detail. You're down to just your thumb. Now go on if you're so eager to tell me. Let's hear about my supposed next life, shall we? In your next life, you lose your memory in an accident, causing you to forget your own humanity. The innate savagery you normally keep hidden beneath a mask is released, unrestricted. And you turn into a creature no more than... No, you turn into a beast. My mask. You murder countless people, including the woman you once called your lover. Lover. Hers is a name you know very well. Pauline, your tether. My tether. How do you know that word? Because I know everything. I know what you wanted. I know what you were never able to obtain. You idolized humanity, and you yearned for peace. You're telling me I killed the nun in my next life. I am. That is the fate that lies waiting for you. Her love for you is so strong, she refuses to believe you're dead. She leaves her seaside hometown in search of you, and she finds you. But you slaughter her. Did you say she lived in a city on the sea? In addition to her, you also lose someone else. A woman who tried to give you the peace you so desired, which eventually causes you to succumb entirely to instinct. Enough! Alright, fine. Now I know what you are. You're no mere seasoned liar. You're some kind of evil spirit that deceives humans. You're peering into my heart, tailoring your lives specifically to manipulate me. I am not. I swear. I have seen everything that happens. Enough! But there's a chance you can change your fate. All you have to do is cease your involvement in Morgana's imprisonment. Set her free. Allay the hatred she bears for you. Are you deaf? I said I've heard enough. Release Morgana. Save your soul. Give her a better future. Silence. I think I'll take your arm off first. Cut right through your shoulder, nice and slowly. Don't. You'll still be attached for a while yet, don't you worry. You'll hear that. You hear that, spirit? It's the sound of your flesh ripping apart. The sound of your muscles being severed. Not going to be doing much talking anymore, are you? Not through the pain you want. Plead for your life, spirit. Beg for mercy. Admit it was all a sham. Apologize. Let the room fill with your cries of agony. Nothing was a sham. Every last word. It's all the truth. I'll rip that head right off your shoulders. I don't care who or what you are anymore. You're dead!
You will do no such thing! Get back! You will not harm him further!
Pauline. What are you doing here, Pauline? I told you to stay away. And the door was locked. I opened it. You. One of Nelly's hairpins was long enough to get into the lock and undo it. She won't be getting much use out of it anymore, though. Busted up pretty badly in the process. The locks on the tower door are too complex, but the one here is a lot simpler. Bet you never expected me to go cat burglar on you, huh? Congrats, Mel, you made yourself useful. You stupid boy. Oh, what was your question last night again? Something about being on the edge of a cliff or whatever. Well, here's your answer. I'll do everything I can to save both of them.
This is terrible. How could you? Why? You're badly hurt. Sit tight, I'll call for a doctor.
Don't worry about me. You need to talk to him. To get him to talk. We've got to do something about you, though. I'll get that wound patched up at least, until you can get properly checked out. Thank you. Was it you who went to get Pauline? No, I ran into her while I was looking for you, which is when she told me she was looking for him. Neither of us were having any luck, so we scoured the mansion together. And when we reached the stairs to the cellar and heard the screaming, my worst fears were confirmed. So I picked the lock and here we are. Sorry we didn't make it sooner. This could have been avoided. God, look what he did to you. So much blood. And your fingers. No, you made it just in time. My arm's still attached, and I'm not dead. Neither of which would be true without you. So I guess that means I actually did something good for once. Did something for someone other than myself. That you did.
Proud of you, Mel. I really am. So everything Michelle said is true? The Lord isn't storing his valuables in the tower. He's got a girl locked up there? I just want to, before we get too far into this, Yukimasa's sprites in this door, seeing him like with real emotions, I love it. I love it. Where he was saying, no, why are you here? And he looks so distressed. There is this human side to him. There is. It's just really buried. Well, is it true or not?
It's still the Lord's property. The church is being funded with her miracle blood. So that makes her valuable, yes.
So you're saying they've been handing out human blood? And telling people it was medicine?
Not human. Witch. No, Morgana is a human girl. She hasn't become a witch yet. At least not here.
All this time, I've been lying to the people who believe in me, without even knowing what I was doing.
Like you said, you didn't know. You haven't done anything wrong.
Ignorance does not excuse sin. All that time I spent with you, and I didn't notice anything wrong.
That was the idea. You weren't supposed to notice anything. It's not your fault I deceived you. It's unreasonable to think you should have been able to.
All that. You did it to help me though, didn't you? Like a stupid little girl, I assumed it was all out of the goodness of your heart. Never once stopping to think any deeper than that. About where it was all coming from. Maria was right. I was blind. I was content to be pleased about the people I thought I was helping. I want you to do something for me. I want you to set this girl, set Morgana free. Please do not make your sins any greater than they already are.
But without the witch's blood, we lose the Lord's patronage, and then the church.
What good is a church that isn't actually saving anyone?
You tell him, Pauline.
Actually, no. That's avoiding the point entirely.
What do you mean?
To tell you the truth, I never really cared about the church at all.
You... what? How can you say that, when you've always been so unconditionally charitable, even if it meant giving away food or money you needed yourself? People call you the saintess because that's what you are. A saint.
It's true, I do that. But the fact is, I'm no saint. I don't deserve to be held up as one, nor do I belong in that position. I'm just an ordinary girl. I never wanted to be a nun, you know? I just didn't have any other options available to me. And I sure didn't have the confidence to make it out there on my own like Maria. So I did as I was told. And to keep myself from thinking it was a mistake, from feeling dissatisfied with that choice, I put everything I had into my responsibilities to the church. My unconditional charity was rooted entirely in selfishness. And the longer I kept it up, the harder it became to stop. I forgot what I really wanted.
And what would that be?
A normal, happy life as an ordinary girl.
In a city on the water.
What?
That's what you said your dream was for your next life.
Right. Yeah, a quiet life with the man I love.
You might get that wish, in fact. That's what you said, wasn't it? That her next life, she lives in a city by the sea. That is correct. In your next life, Pauline, you are not a nun. You're an ordinary girl who lives in a seaside city. A sweet, cheerful, energetic girl who wears her heart on her sleeve. You have both your mother and father. So you believe me now? I don't know. Your claims are utterly ridiculous. But it's getting harder to think you're lying. Come on, Yukimasa. If that's what you really wanted, what should I have done instead? I envied what you had, that solace. The last thing I wanted was for you to lose it. But you're saying you found no peace in that life?
That's right.
So what should I have done?
I wanted you to take me away from this place, somewhere far away. I wanted you to make it so I could be Pauline, not Marie. That would have been my ideal life. To live with you, to have a family with you.
How was I supposed to know?
You couldn't possibly have known. I realize that. And that makes me every bit as complicit as you. Set Morgana free.
I will be expected to pay for my crimes. That itself is not a problem. I have every intention of facing the consequences. But we have done terrible, gruesome things. I don't know what the usual punishment for such is in this land. But if I had to guess, I would say execution. And me being an outsider makes it easier for people to place the blame on me. Pauline is definitely the kind of girl who marries a death row inmate she was pen pals with. Oh, fucking, I hate that that's true. She's absolutely one of those people. God love her, but it's so true. I won't be able to take you away.
We'll find each other again in our next lives, okay?
Okay. As I'm sure you heard, my involvement in this conspiracy ends here. I'm glad to hear you've decided to take action. Wow, did you ever think CCO would play when we were talking to Yukimasa? Sorry about your fingers and arm. I'm still alive. That's That's what matters. The third key is in the Lord's possession. You said you needed it by noon of the Harvest Festival, yes? Which means we need to act quickly. That's correct. Sorry about that. I had heartburn. We must set Morgana free before the bell tolls noon tomorrow. Then tonight. That's the next time the Lord will be here. Tonight I'll kill him and take his key. Oh, wait. No, we're not shedding any blood to get his key.
Do you remember what I said a few minutes ago about not committing any further sins?
He is not likely to hand over his key without a fight, though. We need to convince him, not force his hand. Besides, simply opening the door is not enough. Why not? My goal here is to save Morgana's soul. In order to do that, I need to pacify at least some degree of the hatred she bears in it. A hatred rooted in her perception of you and the things you've done to her. I need to change that perception. I'm not quite following. What do you mean by change her perception? For you and the Lord to tell your stories, to describe what happened from your perspectives. You want my perspective? I do. Something in your motivations or circumstances might serve to lessen the animosity she holds for you. The greater the discrepancy in what she believes to be the truth and the full story, with everyone's perspectives included, the greater the chance she may have a change of heart. Okay, I now understand what you want from me. However, my perspective will do nothing to serve that end. There is no ambiguity, no justification for my actions.
Sid, I know you're watching right now. Make Mom fucking watch this. I just need to know what her thoughts are about this fellow.
Regardless, I would still like to know the whole truth, if you're willing to tell me you were part of it. Okay. I'll come by your room later today.
Hey, is it alright if I'm there too?
Sorry. I would rather if you weren't.
Why?
Everything you need to know, I've told you already. I captured a witch. No. I kidnapped a young girl for profit and imprisoned her in the tower. My motivation, as I said, was to keep your church funded. Those are the facts. The things I did along the way were brutal and inhumane. I hope you can understand why I wouldn't want the woman I love to hear any of that.
I understand.
I'll see you again later in the day. I'll be waiting. Please don't try to kill me this time. I'll try not to.
I should get going too. You're going to need medication and something to get that arm dressed properly. And if there's anything else I can get you, let me know. If you want to see a doctor, I'll find you the best one I can. I'm so sorry for ever doubting you.
No, I understand. I'm glad you came at all.
Me too. Well, see you.
I'm kind of surprised. He's actually got a soft spot, huh? And I was sure you were full of it when you said the two of them had a thing going. What does she see in a guy like him anyway? She's got bad taste in guys, that's for sure. What's with that look? Just admiring your rather inappropriate remarks. Sorry. I was just so relieved it kind of came out. It's okay. You almost got a smile out of me. I've never seen you smile before. I blame being relieved too. Now, would you please mind helping me get back to my room? Sure, no problem. My shoulder's all yours. You know, you really are something else, Michelle. I could hear you through the door as I was getting it opened, and honestly, I'm amazed you were able to stand up to him like that. I don't want to get my hopes up too high just yet, but I'm starting to think you might actually be able to do something about the Lord. That's reassuring. Thank you. Sure. Anyway, let's get going. You should get as much rest as you can until he shows up. Well, I mean, you should be going to see a doctor with those wounds. Oh yeah, Nellie's been worried sick about you all day. I'll have to tell her not to pounce on you because I'm sure she'll come running as soon as she hears we found you. Giselle, you were right. I do have people here who will support me. People who are grateful for me and who show concern for me. But you have to know, Giselle, that it's your voice I want to hear more than anyone else's. Why can I not hear you? Where are you, Giselle? Giselle. Okay. I'm gonna pour some water. Pouring water ASMR. I'm sure that exists. Pauline came through for us, but at what cost? Proud of her, though. She grew a spine. But it has scoliosis. It's almost sunset. Looks like the snow didn't stick. You couldn't actually see the snow last night, could you, Giselle? Was that when the light started fading from the sphere of darkness encasing you? Or had it been going on even longer than that? Why didn't you say anything? Not a word. I don't believe you're gone for good. You're still out there somewhere. I know it. And I will come for you. I swear it. Just a moment. Here I am, as promised. I heard you talking, so I thought there was someone with you. But you're alone. It's only me, yes. I see. As I told you earlier, my perspective on events will do nothing to change Morgana's mind. I would still like to hear what you have to say. All right. Not being from this land, I don't believe in the local god, nor do I think priests and preachers any better than con artists. Where did that come from? What I'm trying to say is if I give a confessional, it won't be to another human. You are an angel. Come again? The angel from the stained glass window. That's you, isn't it? Wait. How on earth did you come to that conclusion? I was thinking about everything you said earlier, in the cellar. The fact that you knew about Morgana. The fact that you could see into my heart, and in particular, all your talk about saving people's souls. Salvation is not man's job. Which means you must be something else. I will tell you everything. Every foolish mistake, every terrible crime. And in exchange, I would like you to tell me what I am to do next, to lead me down the path I am to take. I terrify myself. With every passing day, my ability to tell what direction I'm supposed to be heading in dulls. So after I tell my story, I want you to do that for me. Please, Will you show me the way? I can no more decide the path you take than you, but you saw into my heart. Giselle, if you were here, you would encourage me to agree to his request, wouldn't you? Okay. I can't guarantee that anything I'll have to say will be of use, but I will do the best I can to lead you in the right direction. Thank you. Now, before I begin, there's one thing I need to clarify. I am not in love with Pauline. She does play an important role in my life, though. That much is true. She's your tether. Exactly. I suppose you could say I admire her. She is everything that I am not. Everything I cannot be. Is that something I should tell her, you think? That I don't love her. That I am incapable of feeling love. Should I tell her that, knowing she genuinely loves me? My instinct tells me I shouldn't. I know very well I'm lying to her. But there are circumstances in which a lie is preferable to the truth, are there not? With that said, I'm ready to begin. You have my full attention.
What an interesting character he is.
As you know, I am not from this land. The issue is, I don't know any more about where I came from than you. I remember the Silk Road stretching out before me as far as the eye can see. Clouds of dust wisping across the bare dirt trail. That endless expanse of red earth remains branded into the very fabric of my mind. But beyond that, most of my memories are gone. I can only clearly remember the last 5 or so years of my life. In my oldest real memory, I was a slave. I didn't work on some nobleman's estate, but instead I did physical labor, construction work. I built roads and buildings, tore down hills and mountains. That's where it was decided someone built like I am would be most use, I suppose. Then, while I doubt I need to tell you this, living conditions were miserable. Other slaves withered away and died on a daily basis. Working a noble's estate would have been easier, without a doubt, if only for the fact that I would have a specific master. I don't remember anything about my life before becoming a slave. All I have are those few images, from which I can guess I was a part of a caravan. Or perhaps a messenger. I vaguely remember being waylaid. We were vastly outnumbered, massacred with little resistance. Or at least, I assume that's what happened. When I next woke up, I had been stripped bare and was surrounded by men I didn't recognize. The words they spoke were gibberish to my ears. But I could tell from their tone of voice and expressions that the things they were saying were not friendly. They seemed to be mocking me, laughing at me. As you might expect, I attempted to protest. But evidently, I had been beaten quite badly while I was unconscious. My joints were stiff and swollen, on top of my dehydration, so I could barely move, let alone put up a fight. As strong as I might have been at full health, I was in no condition to do anything then. You have no idea what that's like. How it feels to be abused and humiliated, desperate for food and water. Oh, I see. So as I was saying... Oop! I really wish they had included Michelle's response there. I would have loved to have heard it. I was a slave for one grueling, torturous year. No one treated me like a human being. There was no one from the same part of the world as me. And there was no one to come to my aid. Over time, I came to learn their language, though I can only speak it. I don't know how to read or write. But to be honest, I think I was happier not understanding what people were saying about me. They had many words to describe me, none of them flattering. Some of them would even call me beast. And the longer I was treated as something less than human, the more I began to question whether I really was one. A darkness grew inside me with each repeated insult. I wanted to make them pay for the daily abuse. And who wouldn't? The desire to exact vengeance when you've been mistreated is only natural. It's perfectly reasonable. But they were right about what I was deep down, a beast. My revenge went far beyond what could be considered reasonable. "4 years ago, I was sitting in a carriage as it rattled along a dirt road. This was not the kind of carriage you rode around town in, but a filthy slave transport. It was packed front to back with slaves, or soon-to-be slaves, I suppose I should say. There were men, young women, and even children. Everyone wore a look of hopelessness on their faces, and no one had the strength left to resist. They looked like me a year earlier, deprived of food and water, and beaten into submission. The slave traders' guards were armed, of course, swords hanging from their hips, ready to cut down anyone who showed any sign of resistance. So they sat there, lamenting their fate. Sitting beside me was a young girl, crying in silence. Glancing over at her, I caught a glimpse of her face. Large chunks of skin seemed to have fallen off of it. It was, suffice it to say, an unusual sight. But beyond that, I didn't think much of it. I didn't find it disturbing or unpleasant, perhaps because I had a similarly unusual appearance. What caught my attention, though, was the way she was crying. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it seemed somehow different from everyone else crying in the carriage. It was almost like her tears were not for herself. "Why are you crying?" At my question, the girl turned her head up to look at me. Surprise crossed her face for a few brief seconds, but that was her only reaction to my appearance. I assume her thought process was roughly the same as mine, so she felt no need to fear me. After a moment's hesitation, she said,
"I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to people very dear to me."
Her response perplexed me to no end. Why was she concerned about showing gratitude? Why was she not despairing of her own circumstances? Why was that the emotion that gripped her in that moment? Not hatred for the slave trader or sorrow for herself. To this day, I still don't understand. But that wasn't the only thing I found curious. Her voice, despite being soft, cut through the crying and wailing of the other slaves. I pictured it like a single patch of clear water in the middle of a swamp, untainted by its surroundings, gently undulating. One sentence was all she said, but there was something unbelievably calming about the sound of it. For a moment, I was filled with a sense of tranquility. And though you may not believe it, I wanted to get her out of that filthy carriage, to undo the shackles threatening to taint her. And so I took action, driven by that desire. This is no lie, I promise.
Good guy Yukimasa.
No, no, don't kill me! Please, you can have all my money. You can go free if that's what you want. I'll apologize. Anything. What? Why are you laughing? Please, spare me. I have a wife and children, please. I'm begging you. Why should I care? Holding a sword in my hand felt amazingly right. Whatever work I once did must have required me to use a blade. Even with the shackles still around my wrist, I had little trouble slaughtering the slave traders and their guards. They let their guard down because we were restrained. The thought of anyone resisting never once crossed their minds. Dead bodies sprawled out around me. Corpses I had made, lives I had snuffed out. Look at this. See, no one can defeat me. They stood no chance against my strength. more. I need more. I need more. I don't have the words to describe the high it gave me killing those men, the power I felt over them. I was driven mad by the stench of blood filling the air. No, it just drew out what was always there. If I weren't already deranged, the corpses would have nothing to do. I would have had nothing to stimulate in the first place. After taking the keys off one of the slave traders, I returned to the carriage, doing my best to act calm and suppress the bubbling exhilaration. Hey, you. Unlock my shackles for me. I would do it myself if I could. You. Say something, would you? But she said nothing, simply removing my shackles as commanded. If she had said even one word, let me hear that curiously calming voice of hers, then in all likelihood, I probably would have stopped there. But she remained perfectly silent. Everyone was in shock at what they had just witnessed, her included. In time, though, the slaves started cheering. The same people who had been wailing minutes earlier were now shouting praises.
Our savior! You are our savior! We're free to go home!
We can have our lives back.
Undo our shackles, please!
I'm a beast.
What?
I'm not a savior. I'm not a man. I'm a beast. Isn't that right? I'm a beast, aren't I? Oh, what are you? More. I need more. I thirst for more. Why are you pointing? I need more!
Oh, Yukimasa. Oh, why are you so feral?
In that moment, the last of my reason dissolved. I went into a frenzy, slaughtering the helpless slaves I had never intended to kill. I was euphoric. I couldn't get enough. I reveled in it. Never before had I felt such utter ecstasy. Their cries for mercy as I ripped through them were delicious. The look of fear in their eyes. The way their faces twisted. The splatters of blood around their mouths open in screams. The despair that filled them. I didn't care anymore that they were just as much victims as me. That they had suffered the same abuse and humiliation. All of that was buried beneath the waves of bliss that ravished me. Everyone who asked to be spared, I skewered. I worked my way around the inside of the carriage, killing dozens upon dozens of slaves. Heads went rolling off shoulders, hot geysers of blood spewing from open necks. I was practically wading through blood by that point. Some bodies I completely dismembered. Others I disemboweled, leaving their entrails to hang out of their open guts. All of them had looks of agony frozen into their faces as death took them. I don't know if I was unconsciously avoiding her, or if it was just a coincidence. But the girl was the only one left alive. She, of course, hadn't been spared the mess, so she sat there drenched in sticky red gore. Her lips appeared to be trembling, though I couldn't tell for sure with so much of her skin missing. The fire inside me still burned white hot. She was the reason I had done any of this in the first place. I had stood up because I wanted to set her free. But my original intentions were long since gone from my mind. Raw pleasure overwhelmed any sense of reason. I approached the girl, pointing the sword at her neck. I expected her to scream, to beg for her life like the others. But she did nothing, simply stared up at me. Why didn't you run? At my question, the girl finally spoke.
Why did you kill them?
The sound of her voice quelled the furor within me. It baffled me. I had no control over it, yet this strange girl could pacify me with a single utterance. The words she used didn't matter. It was her voice. She could have called me a monster, and it would have had the same effect. Because I felt like it. I couldn't explain my reason for murdering the slaves. I didn't have the words to express the things that drove me. All I could tell her was that I did it because I felt like it.
And Then why haven't you killed me yet?
I couldn't find a sure answer for that question in my somewhat rattled mind either. In retrospect, I realize now that her voice was my first tether. But at the time, I had no idea why I didn't take her life in my frenzy. I had killed other children, other women. Young, old, sad, miserable, it didn't matter. Nothing had so much as prickled my conscience. I don't know, I said, and then I stepped off the carriage and walked away. Left with questions I couldn't answer. Was I really a beast? Was unleashing my innate savagery and reveling in the massacre of helpless people really all I wanted? I didn't know. After escaping from the slave traders, I became something of a bandit. I had no hope of anyone taking me in. Not only was I a murderer, I was a foreigner. Nor did I have any chance of finding decent work. So I lived by the sword, killing and plundering. The money I honestly didn't give a damn about. I had no desire to be wealthy. It was simply a matter of survival. That, and quenching my thirst. I went on for about 3 years like that. Until finally encountering something I couldn't defeat with my sword. No amount of muscle was enough to protect myself from disease. Wash your hands, and wear a mask. This has been a PSA from Yukimasa. Thanks, Yukimasa! One day, I woke up with the chills, my vision blurry, barely able to move my own limbs. I set off for a nearby village, hoping to see a doctor, but my body didn't last that long. I collapsed on the side of the road, drained of my last strength. It was a moderately busy road, at that, so I assume I had made it close to the city. Dozens of people passed by, silently pretending not to see anything. I didn't look like someone a respectable person would want to involve themselves with in normal circumstances, so it was no surprise they weren't interested in this sick, filthy foreign man. Hell, I couldn't remember the last time I had bathed. It was hard enough to look at me, let alone get anywhere near me. This is where I'm going to die, I thought. It seemed like a suitable end to a mad, murderous monster's life, withering away on the side of the road beneath sneering passers-by. The fact that I was still alive after 3 years of leeching off other people's lives was itself wrong. I didn't limit my impending demise. I accepted that such was the way of the world. But then, I glanced up to see a woman in a nun's habit looking down on me.
Are you all right? Are you sick? I'm going to check your temperature, okay? Wow, you're burning up! You shouldn't be out here in this condition. Do you not have anywhere to go? Don't worry, I've got you covered. There's a church not too far from here. Hang in there just a little longer and you'll be fine.
And what is your God going to do for me?
He helps people in need? It's not very big, but we've always got room for people who need it. You can rest up in one of the open beds, and I should be able to get you a little something to eat. I promise it'll be better than staying out here at any rate. Can you stand? Not a problem. We can do this together. Put your arm around my shoulders. This church isn't that far. We can do it.
You are going to carry me.
Yep. He'll be fine. We'll make it one way or another. Almost. We're almost there. Just a little longer.
I'm heavy, aren't I?
Very, very heavy. But that's not a problem. I can do anything if I put my mind to it.
Just throw me into a ditch.
Now, God doesn't like his children talking like that. Almost there. We're almost there. So, how are you feeling? Better, I hope. I left some applesauce on the bedstand if you're feeling up to eating anything.
Wow, did applesauce exist back then? Really? Okay, hang on. I'm Googling this. Sorry. I feel like I Google this every time and I never remember. When was applesauce invented? The first written recipe was in 1739. Origins. Oh, okay. But there is stuff in the Middle Ages, I guess, that they did. Okay. They're not like what we think of, I think. Anyway, we all learned something today.
And you're welcome to stay here as long as you need to.
Why did you help me?
Because that's what people do. They help each other.
That's not what most people do.
I like to think it is.
You church people are exceptions.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
This woman is only showing me compassion because she doesn't know what I am. She wouldn't be so friendly if she knew I was a madman and a murderer.
If there's anything else you want, let me know. I can't make you any fancy dinners, but if it's anything I can get, I will.
Could you tell me your name?
I'm Marie.
Marie. After, who was it? The Virgin.
You're not familiar with the Virgin Mary?
Just look at me. I'm clearly not from these parts.
Yeah, I can see that. So that would make you a traveler, huh? You speak the language really well, though. I take it you've been here a while, then?
Yes, I have.
How exciting! So when you're feeling better, maybe you could tell me about the country you came from? I've never been far from home, so I'm curious what it's like elsewhere.
There's nothing I can tell you.
It can be anything. Tell me about yourself if you want.
I'm even less inclined to do that.
Get better soon, okay? I'm looking forward to hearing all about it.
I'm not sure there's anyone out there more deserving of the Virgin Mary's name.
What was that?
Your name. It suits you.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm incredibly flattered to hear you say that, but I hardly live up to the name. What's your name, by the way?
I have no name.
You don't?
If you want something to call me by, you can choose a name for me. Anything you want. I am nameless. You give me a name.
I think you should be the one to choose your name. I'd be more than happy to help, though. But you should go with the name you think is best.
I see.
Well, I should get going. I'll be around, so if you need anything, just holler. Bye then.
How am I supposed to choose a name for myself when I don't know anything about me? Okay. Since this is going to be a longer stream, I am going to take like a not full 5-minute break, but like everybody just go get up, stretch, pee, get a beverage, stay hydrated, all that stuff. I will be back in a few minutes, and then we can continue with Yukimasa's recollection. And now you get to sit here and listen to this beautiful song.
Okay, did everybody get hydration? I did. Yukimasa's voice isn't the hardest for me to do, but it's not easy. And Maria and Nellie also have a lot of vocal fry. So it's important to protect your voice and your wellness. Okay. Let's continue, shall we?
I recovered quickly with a proper bed and roof over my head. Out on the road, I had been certain I stood no chance, but I was back on my feet after only 3 days at the church. My body was more resilient than even I knew. And now that I was back in health, I had no intention of sticking around. Thank you for everything. I would be dead if it weren't for you.
No thanks necessary. I'm just glad to see you're feeling better. There is no need to be in such a rush to leave, you know? Stay a bit longer. Make sure everything's alright.
I'm not going to stay any longer than necessary.
If you're sure.
Take this as payment for the food and lodgings.
I can't accept that, no. We don't charge for charity.
Charity is not free. You paid for it. Let me pay you back.
I can't.
Please, take the money.
If you insist, I can accept it as a tithe.
A tithe?
Think of it like a donation to the church. Like you said, the work we do isn't free.
Alright then. A tithe it is.
Thank you. And may God bless you for your generosity.
So long.
Hey, if you're ever in the area, maybe you could stop by sometime. I never did get the chance to have that talk with you. And I was really looking forward to it too.
I'll just cause you more trouble.
What? No, you wouldn't. What makes you think that? Are you afraid you'll scare people off because you look different? I really don't think you need to be worried about that.
It's not just my appearance. Do you mean it? That it won't be any trouble having me around?
I absolutely mean it.
Okay. I'll consider it.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see you again.
Yeah. Believe me, I knew I had no place involving myself with her. A killer making himself comfortable in the house of God? I don't even believe in their deity, and I still know that was nothing if not extremely disrespectful. I may be a murderer, but I am not sacrilegious. Sorry. The money I had donated to her church wasn't even clean. It was stolen. I didn't feel the slightest bit guilty about it, though. I was more than conscious of what I was doing, but none of that mattered to me. She had smiled when she took it. That was enough. Seeing the nun smile put my heart at ease, much like the sound of the slave girl's voice had several years before. It restrained me, suppressed my urges. That smiling face was my new tether. I had always believed that I was at my happiest while torturing people, that my thirst for murder was ingrained in my soul. But as exhilarating as taking others' lives was, there was a part of me that yearned for peace. I had gotten a taste of that with her, and I wanted more. Even knowing I had no place in that world, that peace was something I would never attain, still I longed for it. It started with brief visits every few months. In time, though, their frequency began to increase. Soon it was once a month, then twice, then once a week. The length of my visits gradually grew as well. Every time I showed up, the nun greeted me with a smile, quenching my thirst without the need for blood. The more we met, the more I endeavored to be a normal man around her, or to play the part of one. I thought that if I acted like there was nothing wrong with me, then I wouldn't be out of place at her side. I wanted to feel like I belonged in that peaceful world where she lived.
This music also really, I think, suits her and the aesthetic of, like, peace. I do genuinely love this song. Anyway.
Ah! It's the giant man! Marie! The giant man's here!
Giant.
Hello there! I was beginning to think you weren't coming this week.
I was having trouble deciding on what to bring you.
You're always welcome here, you know? You don't have to bribe yourself in. But I appreciate it, thank you.
I wouldn't feel right if I didn't bring something. I bought a variety of fruits for you today, so you can share them with the children.
They'll be delighted. Thank you so much.
It's nothing, really.
So, have you decided on a name for yourself yet?
Not yet, no.
Nothing at all? It makes talking to you a little awkward not having anything to call you.
In that case, the giant man is as good as anything.
Did he get under your skin? Oops, it was a boy, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
A little. I'm not that big, am I?
We're all giants to little kids. I do wish they'd be a little less blunt about it sometimes, though.
Indeed. I suppose it's better than them being afraid of me. The children here have strong nerves.
They're ordinary kids. You're just not a scary person.
They only assume I'm harmless because I'm with you.
Oh, you make it sound like you actually are dangerous or something.
Because I am.
Don't get worked up about it. The only thing different about us is our race. Everything else is exactly the same.
I'm not so sure.
You must have had some pretty awful experiences because of your appearance then, to make you so concerned about it. I wish I could say I understood your pain.
That's not necessary.
But if I could, then maybe I'd feel a little closer to you. If only I could be even half the same race as you.
You have nothing to gain from being more like me.
You don't think so? I think there's a lot that would be nice about it. I would probably have really pretty black hair at least. I'm so curious as to what her hair color is in this. So, I have no idea. But she's not half Japanese this time. She's not the only one whose race is different. With Yukimasa, or I should say Yukimasa is not the only one whose race is different this time. She is not half Japanese. If I am ever reborn, I'd like to be more like you.
Why are you so obsessed with being like me?
I just am?
Oh.
Yeah.
That was about the time I started noticing the feelings she had for me. At first, I thought I was simply being egotistical. There was no way a woman like her would be interested in a man like me. But I couldn't think of any other explanation for the way she looked at me. Back then, I believed I loved her too. And that if we could be together as man and woman, that I would finally be able to attain the peace I so sought. That I could wash my hands of the killer within me, defeat the urges once and for all. That I could step out of the darkness I had lived in for so long. That I would be able to see the light. That I would be able to experience love like any other ordinary man. So in the name of that hope, I took action. That foolish, naive hope.
What are we doing out here so late at night?
Sorry for asking you to meet me on such short notice. I hope it wasn't too much trouble sneaking out.
It certainly wasn't easy. So you had something to tell me?
What I'm about to tell you, every last word is sincere. And then once you've heard me out, I want you to turn me down.
What?
Over these past few months, I've come to at least somewhat understand the responsibilities and restrictions placed on you as a nun. But even ignoring the obligations you have, I know good and well I'm not a suitable match for you. Which is why, as I said, I would like you to turn me down.
I still want to hear it.
I love you. I fell for you the moment I first saw you. I know I don't deserve to be anywhere near you. But every time we meet, I desire to be with you grew stronger and stronger, until it was out of my control. Turn me down, Marie, please, and I will stop trying to get close to you.
I'm not Marie.
You're not... what?
My real name is Pauline.
Pauline.
Marie is my baptismal name. It's not the name I was given at birth. I love you too. I fell for you the moment I first laid eyes on you. I know it's forbidden, but I want to be with you too. Any free time I have, I want to spend it with you.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Thank you for being honest with me.
No, thank you for not turning me down.
Wow, talk about an anxious day. When you asked me to meet you out here tonight, I wonder if that might be what it was about. It felt like my heart was going to explode all day.
Heart explode?
Guys get nervous about telling girls how they feel too, don't they?
Yeah, we do.
Until now, I had no idea falling in love was so hard on the nerves. Just thinking about you makes my mind turn to mush. It's hard to work like that, you know?
Is it really that stressful?
Is it like that for you, too?
Yeah. Thinking about you makes it impossible to concentrate. Tell me something, Pauline.
What is it?
How exactly is it hard on your nerves?
What? How exactly? It's like, I'm in the clouds and I want to scream and I want to jump into a lake all at the same time.
That doesn't help me much. Could you be a little bit more specific?
Really? Are you trying to embarrass me? It's like my whole body gets really hot.
You mean you get aroused?
Aroused? No, to put it bluntly, yes.
I see.
You're a real jerk, you know? You shouldn't go I can't even talk, I'm so upset with you. You shouldn't go around trying to humiliate ladies.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You...
Well, that was insightful. So I'm not in love with her, or romantically attracted to her, or even physically attracted to her. All I want from her is her smile. Being around her doesn't arouse me. In fact, it does exactly the opposite. My fire burns brightest when I'm not with her. It all makes sense now. I just want someone to keep me placated. I don't know. I'm disturbed through and through. It's not my native language, shut up. A murderer and a beast.
See, that's why I didn't want to say anything. I knew he would laugh at me.
I'm sorry. I truly am. I did ultimately get what I wanted out of the arrangement. She became my tether, became an invaluable part of my life, even if I had no real love for her. When I was with her, I was at peace. That said, her presence didn't completely rid me of my urges. I was still occasionally struck with bouts of insatiable thirst. Overwhelming desire to mutilate anyone who came into my line of sight. And sometimes, Pauline became the object of that desire. It goes without saying that I never did draw my sword on her, but I had no way of knowing when I might lose control. And if I ever did kill her, then there would be nothing left to keep me from regressing completely into a beast. Pauline and I arranged regular nighttime meetings, though I never once did I truly tell her. Though never once did I tell her how I truly felt.
I'm really sorry. It's been a long day. Brain no work. Brain no work. It's Friday. You don't get me, like, fresh, like you get me on Mondays where I'm like, oh, it was only one day of work. No, there were 5 days.
And I had no intention to either. When I was with her, I was in the role of her lover. She never questioned my love for her. And expressing hers for me caused her to smile even more than normal. The happier she was, the more beneficial it was to me. Spending time with her in this capacity, I was able to gain a deeper understanding of what kind of person Pauline was. She was a deeply generous and compassionate woman. While I now understand her near-compulsive deeds of charity were a result of the stress and uncertainty she felt about herself, at the time I believed she was doing it because she genuinely wanted to. I believe she wanted to save absolutely everyone, to be the saintess she had come to be known as. She gave assistance to anyone who sought it from her, without question, and as a result the church's coffers quickly dried up. Her God did not supply her with an endless store of bread and wine either. In the end, any endeavor, no matter the intentions, requires money. In time, her generosity turned excessive, self-destructive. She would even skip meals so that others could eat. In retrospect, that was probably my fault too. As I pushed her toward wanting to be a regular girl, she pushed back against that desire by being even more charitable. Soon her actions started making the other nuns' lives difficult, giving her a less than favorable reputation within the church. Still, she would tell me when we met up how she wished she could help even more people. If doing so would give her peace, if I could be a part of that peace, then I wanted to grant her wish. But what could a killer like me do to help? Petty thievery would make me nearly enough money to keep a church and orphanage running. And a raid large enough in that scale to do so would inevitably be traced back to the source, which would ruin the church forever. How was a murderer to acquire such a large sum of money? I was ready to jump at any opportunity that presented itself, when I received summons from the Lord.
There he is! Oh, there he is! Hi, Jacopo. I'm so sorry. Jean-Francois Bonnier? Oh, man. Look at this motherfucker. Look at his stupid little pot. Like, if you look at the trim on his pocket, or I guess that's like a gold chain. Look at his tiny little waist. How dare he? How dare he? How dare he put that back? Alright, anyway. Sorry, I just have a lot of feelings about Jacopo. Sorry, Jean-Francois. I take it you're the Oriental man who's been seen buzzing around a local church of late?
When I first saw the Lord, I was surprised at just how young he looked. There couldn't have been more than a couple years difference between us. I had envisioned him as an elderly, or at the very least, a middle-aged man. That would be me, yes. What of it?
Who do you think you're talking to, you impudent rat? Show some damn respect.
Apologies. I'm not very familiar with the local customs or language.
Very well then. You're fortunate I'm in such an understanding man. Now for the reason I called you here. You're the one who killed that cart full of slaves 4 years ago, aren't you?
So you know about that?
I wasn't actually sure it was you, but now I have confirmation. Since then, one slave of Far Eastern origin has remained unaccounted for. I take it that would be you.
That's right.
You made one hell of a mess out there.
Am I here to be punished?
That depends on how our talk goes.
If you think I'm going back to being a slave, you're fooling yourself.
I don't need any more damn slaves, and I certainly don't want you as one. You're obviously not finding any respectable work, being an ex-slave, so I take it you're still in the business of getting your hands dirty, are you not? I assume you're playing cat burglar or something, living off whatever you can swipe from the nearest unlucky bastard.
Correct.
Isn't it comical, then, that you would choose God's sacred house to stretch your legs in, you filthy dog?
I absolutely agree.
I love how, like, Yukimasa's very aware of how terrible he is. Which makes me laugh. Like, Jacopo is also aware, but has, like, less, like, immediate awareness. Whereas Yukimasa's like, no, I'm absolutely a terrible person. And then Mel has, like, no awareness that he's a terrible person. The scale. I thought that would get a reaction out of you. But it seems you've got no bite in you today. Never mind, let's get down to business. You're going to help me out with a little something I'm working on.
Help you with what exactly?
Something that's going to make me a lot of money. And if you lend a hand, I'll make sure you're well taken care of. Along with the church you're so fond of, and the nun you've taken a liking to. Whatever. That nun of yours has made quite the name for herself. Out in the city proper, people have started calling her the Saintess.
They're right about that. She is.
Ha! The commoners love their heroes and saints. They eat that rubbish right up. But saint or not, you can't simply create food from nothing. Her work is causing financial troubles for the church, is it not?
It is, yes.
If you help me with this, I'm offering you an entirely new church. One where she has complete control to do as she wishes. She'll make it into the biggest church of the city. She'll be able to help even more people, which should surely please her.
What would you have me do?
Jumping at the first whip of scraps. You really are a dog, aren't you?
I don't like conversations that overstay their welcome.
Fair enough. Then let's get to business. Not far from here lives a witch whose blood has the power to cause miracles.
Miracle blood. Sounds like a sham to me.
You never know. They say the sound of her first cry brought rain to the land where she was born, saving the whole village from drought. And they say her blood has the power to cure any disease. I'll worry about the veracity of the rumors later. Right now, all I want is for you to capture her and bring her to me.
Explain something to me, Lord. You said that if I helped you, the nun would be able to save more people than she does now. So how does capturing this witch accomplish that?
I'm glad you know how to listen, dog. We'll be turning the blood into a miracle elixir, which she will then distribute to patrons of the church. In exchange for tithes, of course.
Selling it, then.
Selling isn't quite the right word, but if that's how you want to think of it, by all means. The commoner's beloved saintess, handing out an all-powerful miracle medicine. They'll lap it up.
And in turn, you'll make a fortune.
Exactly. Money I can use to support her church. It'll be a boom to the city's economy as well. A single witch's freedom is all it'll cost for everyone here to come out happy. So what'll it be? Will you help, or will I have to?
I'll help. I have no reason not to.
Decisive and a good listener. Excellent.
Jacopo and fucking Yukimasa as besties. Once I've captured the witch, where do I take her?
He does look fine in this. Look at him, I'm telling you, look at his little waist, his little hips.
Stupid Jacopo. I mean, Jean-Francois.
I have a mansion set aside where your nun can run her church. There's an observation tower on the grounds. The witch will be kept locked up there, to ensure we have a constant supply of blood.
Okay. When do you want me to get her?
You're just chomping at the bit now, aren't you? I thought you'd hesitate at least a little, but I guess it was foolish of me to presume you to understand how a killer's mind works. All the resources I put into investigating you and everyone close to you were wasted, it would seem. Do you even have a conscience?
Don't act like you're any different.
I assure you, I have a conscience. I just don't listen to it.
Jean-Francois!
I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't necessary for the growth of the city.
No, I mean you're as much a murderer as me. You would never come up with a scheme like this if your hands were clean.
Watch your mouth, dog. Don't you dare insinuate I would ever condescend to your level. Pleasant as ever, that guy.
I agreed to the Lord's terms. A couple days later, I made my way out to the location the Lord had given me. A small cottage by the lake, where the witch was said to live. I had been instructed to take her alive, but not that I wasn't allowed to harm her, so my plan was to force my way in and immobilize her as soon as she opened the door. The Lord was right. I didn't have anything resembling a conscience. I was too far gone to be bothered by the prospect of disabling a witch. Not even the fact that I had found a degree of solace in my relationship with Pauline would change that. However,
Who's there?
when I heard the witch's voice through the door, I froze. It was the girl from 4 years earlier. I didn't even have to see her. I knew right away. I wouldn't mistake that voice, that stream of pure, clear water cutting through the grime, for anything. I would never forget the first thing that I ever managed to suppress my desires, my first tether. When the Lord told me about the witch, I never once expected it to be her.
Who is it?
Are you the witch with the miracle blood? My hand rested on the hilt of my sword. I had, at first, meant to break down the door if she wouldn't open for me.
Please leave.
However, when I heard that voice, my hand fell limp.
Please stay away from my home.
I am in need of your blood. Could you not spare a little?
I have nothing to spare for a man like you. My blood is only for the sick and needy. So please, go away. Stay away from me. I'm begging you. Get away from this place. You're a murderer. I want nothing to do with you. So please, just go away.
As you say. As she had commanded, I took leave of her cottage, in somewhat of a haze. It should have come as no surprise, but in the 4 years since our last encounter, she had no kind words left to spare me. Yet even in her derision, I still felt myself being calmed by the sound of her voice. I debated with myself. Should I do as the Lord requested and capture her? Or should I let her go free, as I had done 4 years earlier? You already know what I decided to do, though, don't you? That's right, I went with the first option. After all, I had no need for 2 tethers.
But you did. Honestly.
While breaking down her door was still an option, the witch was wary of me. If she were to somehow manage to escape, there was no saying how the Lord might react. So I stood watch, waiting for her to step outside. The problem was, she never opened her door. It wasn't just me. It seemed she was wary of everyone. There was one exception, though. The boy. She left the cottage for him. They went on walks together around the lake.
It's been a while since we last went on one of our walks, huh? I haven't been sleeping much, taking care of Nellie.
Is her condition worsening again?
Yeah.
Rest assured, I will give her my blessing as many times as she needs.
Thanks. I really, really appreciate it. The weather's kind of not that great today, huh? Looks like we might get rain.
It's probably not smart to stay outside much longer.
Yesterday.
I should get going. See you. Watching two of them, it occurred to me that I could make good use of the boy. You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch. Get away. Or you help me capture her. Get away from her right now. And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl. Get away! Make your decision. Get away from her! You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, I'll do it, I'll help you. So get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her. I thought you'd hold out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Get moving. You pitiful little boy. Why did you have to do this to her? Why? Why did you have to do this? Why did you have to cut off her arm?
Get back! No! Stay away from me! No. Help! Don't kill me!
Take it. That's your share. Should last you long enough.
Why did you take my arm? What do you mean by share? Why? My arm.
The witch with the miracle blood had regressed into an ordinary girl, and she cried in pain like a small child. I wasn't going to get very far with her wailing, so I gagged her, tied her up, and threw her into a burlap sack. Nothing personal. I just need your blood. Without it, she'll lose her church. She needs the money. I needed some way of getting enough money to keep her church running. So the Lord made me an offer. If I brought him the witch with the miracle blood, he would finance a whole new church for her. so don't take it personally. I tossed the sack into the cart I had waiting outside, then made my way to the mansion, as per the Lord's instructions. The two of us then locked the witch in the observation tower. When I told the Lord I had used a boy as bait to get her open the door, he gave an exasperated sigh and said,
Involving a third party was not part of the plan. Is there anything at all on that head of yours, dog?
I can kill him if that's a problem.
Don't be hasty. Describe him for me. Did he seem like he came from a wealthy family?
He's young, still in his teens. He lives with his little sister. He looked reasonably well off, probably of noble blood.
You picked one hell of a target to use as your bait.
Should I kill him?
There are people in this world you can make disappear quietly. People no one will notice have gone missing. You are one of them. The boy he most likely isn't. Was the boy at all interested in the witch's blood?
He seemed to be.
Well, that makes things a little easier. We just have to make him into an accomplice then.
That's everything up to about 6 months ago. You know what happens next. You know what happened next, I presume. I threatened Mel, forced him to join us. He needed the blood for his sister, but even without that excuse, he didn't have the courage to run. Me, on the other hand, I involved myself of my own will. I had no reason to try to back out. In fact, being put in charge of one of the 3 keys gave me an excuse to meet up with her more often. The arrangement was quite beneficial for me.
Hey, I heard the news! You were selected to be part of the Lord's personal guard? Now you've got it made! Congratulations!
You exaggerate. It's nothing.
Oh, now, no need to be humble. He wouldn't have picked you if he didn't really trust you. Everyone around here just knows how hard it is to earn the Lord's trust.
If you say so.
It hasn't been easy for him, I hear. He only assigns those he really trusts to work so close to him.
I hope you're right.
He trusts you, I'm sure of it.
I certainly can't tell her the real reason I suddenly became his guard.
And I've got some more exciting news too. The Lord sent me a messenger for me earlier. Apparently, he's building a new church and he wants me to serve as a nun there. Can you believe it?
You shouldn't be surprised. You are the city's saintess, after all. It's little wonder you would be his first choice.
I really don't think I'm that important.
Do you not want the position?
No, I'm delighted to have such an incredible opportunity. This will allow me to help so many more people than before. It's wonderful news.
That's good to hear. Tell me, I'm not wrong in thinking helping people is one thing you want more than anything else, am I?
Right. That's what I want more than anything in the world.
I see. Hey, smile for me, would you?
Huh? I've been smiling this whole time, haven't I?
Not just now. Forever.
Of course. When I'm with you, nothing could possibly take the smile off my face.
I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, Yukimasa.
I never knew someone could lose so much weight while still eating every day. We might have to increase your portions. If there's anything in particular you want, just tell me.
I hear children's voices. From outside, I hear children's voices.
Ah, the kids here to see the saintess. It has gotten quite noisy out there of late, yes.
The saintess.
Your voice has gotten raspy too. Was that my doing? Did I take your voice? That's unfortunate. To me, your voice held far more value than your blood. And I took that away from you.
Yes, you three took everything away from me.
So we did.
Enough chatter, dog.
The Lord's scheme was a success. The witch's blood brought with it an influx of donations, which the Lord invested in various businesses in the city. I have no idea if the blood actually has miraculous powers, but there were certainly people claiming to have been healed by it. It wasn't long before people who weren't sick started making use of the supposed cure-all medication, saying it had preventative properties as well. As word of the elixir spread, the Lord's profits grew in kind. One fact was undeniable. The witch's blood stimulated the city's dramatic growth. And that's everything. Appalling, is it not? Morgana. If you hate me for what I did to her, you can take this sword and kill me with it.
No, honey, just stop jumping to that conclusion that you need to be killed or people need to be killed. Stop.
And you can have my key. I won't put up a fight. You have the right to exact punishment on me. Killing you would accomplish nothing. It is neither my place to forgive nor punish you. As much as it would make me feel better, doing so would serve no meaningful purpose. I would like you to give me a little time, though. I need time to cool down enough that I can talk to you with a clear head. Of course. So you are still willing to speak with me? I gave you my word. I told you I would help figure out what path you should take. You're an honorable man. I will not force your hand if you don't want to do this. You can tell me to leave and I'll walk right out the door. More than anger or hatred, I'm simply deeply pained. Maybe things would have turned out better if I were as sympathetic a man as you. People are supposed to feel happy or sad for one another. I can't, though, which must make me a beast. When you first met Morgana, you felt a desire to rescue her from the slave traders, did you not? You thought of someone other than yourself. I never saw that desire through, though. My thirst far overpowered anything I may have wanted to do for her, and the next time we met I sold her to the Lord. As I said before, there is no room for interpretation in the things I have done. Whatever I might have wanted to do at one point, it's all meaningless now. Regardless, anything I do for someone else is ultimately for my own benefit. Because it's what I need. No matter how selfish your motivations may ultimately be, please let me believe some part of you does genuinely want to help her. All right. I know I'll sound like a hypocrite for saying this, but sitting back and waiting for her to die is not what I want. When I cut off her arm, I didn't feel any of the thrill or euphoria that I usually do when I take my sword to someone. I can't say whether that means I had a conscience, if but for a moment, or if I just wasn't myself at the time. If you can save her, though, please do. I can't do anything. If I try, I'll only make things worse. I cannot do everything on my own either. Give me your word that you will atone to Morgana for your actions. While I doubt making reparations will clear me of my crimes, if that is what you want me to do, that is what I will do. Can I ask you something? What is it? Tell me more about my next life. I want to know what kind of man I am. I want to know every mistake I make, all the details. I warn you, it's a tale far more barbaric than anything you can imagine. Do you still want to hear it? I do. And I have little doubt that I will believe it. If you're worried I might react the way I did earlier, I'll lay down my sword. You can tie me up too if you want. That won't be necessary. I'm going to trust you. I'll tell you the whole hopelessly tragic truth. Everything I saw with no embellishments. Please do.
And then we made Yukimasa read door 2. And he had some feelings about it.
And so, I told him the tale I witnessed beyond the second door. That he lost his memory in a shipwreck. That he was treated like a beast by the people in the land where he washed up. That he massacred countless people. And that he took the life of his lover who had come in search of him, never wavering in her belief that he was still alive. I told him about the white-haired girl. I told him about the things he made Giselle do. I didn't hide anything. As I spoke, he would occasionally grimace, or his eyes would go wide for a moment, but he did not once interrupt me. He sat there in silence until I finished. You weren't kidding. That was far worse than I had imagined. It is the truth, though. You become the target of Morgana's loathing, and you are led back to this mansion. That is what lies in your future. As difficult as it may be to comprehend, that person is you. The man who does all those things hundreds of years from now is you. I really am a beast. A horrendously precarious creature. As I interpret it, when you lost your memory, you also lost everything you used to suppress your nature. You lost the foundation you had built, and as a result, you were no longer able to maintain that balance. Would that mean what I am now is, comparatively speaking, human? No, I'm no different now. I have no more control over myself when I'm killing people than the man you described. You've seen me do reprehensible things. And in spite of that, you were never condescending or insulting, never acted disgusted or afraid of me. Are all angels as compassionate as you? I am not an angel. I was simply biting my tongue. Are you afraid of me then? I am not afraid of you, no. What are you then? I don't understand. I am of the belief that now is not the appropriate time for me to allow my personal feelings to influence my actions. My task is to save Morgana. If I am to be honest with you for a moment, I despise the man you are in the future. But I'm also equally frustrated at myself. You were right. The things you did were inexcusable. You murdered innocents. You killed the woman who came searching for you. But on a personal level, what angers me the most is that you put blood on the hands of the woman I love. I know very well that to you, it's something you haven't done yet, but it was still your soul. It tears me apart inside that I couldn't return in time to stop it. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who wouldn't be angry to know someone they care about had received that kind of treatment. I suppose. If that's how you feel, though, aren't you interested in taking revenge on me? As I mentioned before, there are times when allowing your emotions to take the reins is the wrong course of action. This is one of those times. Seeking vengeance is the wrong thing for me to do right now. If I can eliminate Morgana's hatred, the 3 of your souls will be set free as well. So you're going to save me too. Yes, I am. I don't consider myself worthy of redemption. Especially not after hearing about the things I will do. I am a beast through and through. A twisted psychopathic monster. You were conflicted, though. You struggled against the creature that dwelled inside you. It's true that you found perverted joy in violence and murder. But you also felt kindness, which caused a part of you to seek peace. And the same can be said of you in this time as well. If you actually were nothing but a beast, or rather nothing but a man that derived pleasure in killing, maybe then I could have truly reviled you. Then you would be irredeemable, no matter what had turned you into that. No matter how much pain and suffering had driven you to that point. But your instability, your constantly shifting desires, your mental frailty, all appear to me as very human traits. Tell me, how should I live my life from here on? What is it that you want most? The easiest road for me would be the one I walk now, to continue being a killer. No fighting my desires, no resisting what's inside of me. Would that be my salvation? To abandon my humanity entirely? I don't know what I should do, what I'm supposed to do. I'm at a complete loss about everything. I would like to believe that your desire to live in peace is sincere, and that's what I want for you too. It will be the more trying path, yes, because you will have to fight against your nature to stay on it. But we live in the human world. And you also have Pauline, who wants the same thing, extending her hand for you, inviting you to join her. So I encourage you to suppress your urges. Your life will not be easy for it, but I implore you take the rocky road, for your own sake, and for hers. Even if it means my entire life is built on a foundation of lies. Before today, I believed it was wrong not to be true to oneself. But as I listened to you tell your story, I came to realize that maybe there are exceptions. That's a sick burn. Some things you can, and possibly should, keep locked inside you, where they can't hurt anyone else. However, I also think you have a tendency to try and act too perfect around her, both in this life and the next. You cover up so much of yourself, you become an entirely different person. You can be your conflicted, imperfect self around her. The man you are right now, lost and trying to find his way. I have little doubt she will accept that man. What you need most is restraint. I see. So tell me, do you think my future can be changed? I don't know for certain, so all I can do is speculate. But as you share the same soul, I expect any changes you make now will be reflected in your future incarnation. I have my work cut out for me then. Yeah, you do. Pauline. She believed in me. She put her faith in a beast and went out in search of him. I cannot allow myself to be the kind of monster that would murder a woman like her. I have to change. I will change the future. You can do it. When my life here comes to an end, I vow to make my next one better. Thank you for listening to me, and for giving me guidance. I can't say I'm particularly suited for the job. Knowing that my words are going to influence the direction of another's life is an unimaginable amount of pressure. I don't know, I'd say you pull it off well enough. If you ever decide to quit being an angel, you'd make a damn convincing missionary. I have no interest in being a missionary, and as I've told you, I'm not an angel. That's too bad. I joined the Church of Michel. Me too! Don't look at me like that. I'm just kidding. Me too. how can I get angry at you? As I've been telling you, I'm an ordinary man. I'm not special in any way like you seem to think I am. You're not ordinary. You're different, but not in the same way I am. I wouldn't ask any normal man to show me how to lead my life. I see. Although, what passes for normal differs from person to person, I suppose. Just as I don't think you're normal, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who do. Perhaps. Or maybe they're just able to see my desire to be normal. Well, that's everything I have to tell you. You're going to want to talk to the Lord next, I assume. That's right. I'm going to convince him to hand over his key, and then I'm going to set Morgana free. I doubt you'll have much luck convincing him of anything, but I'll help in any way I can. I appreciate it. I'll get him to come to supper tonight. You be there too. Okay, I'll be there. If I could ask you one favor, though, could you try to arrange that for as late as possible? That should be doable, but why? There's someone else I need to speak with first. All right. I'll do what I can. Thank you. See you this evening, then.
Bye, Yukimasa. I appreciate you. This guy. Damn, Yukimasa, so interesting, so fascinating. What a guy. What an interesting dude. He does understand some emotions. He felt humiliation there. And when Pauline and Mel came to rescue, he felt humiliation. He felt guilt when Pauline had to see what he was. You know, he felt fear. He's not emotionless. It's just like Michelle said, he really needs to learn restraint.
Did I lead him to the correct path? Will he actually find redemption at the end of it? No, I made the right decision. Even if he doesn't in this life, there's enough of a chance that he will in his next. One left, and that's it. I'm almost there, Giselle. I'm almost made it to Morgana. I've come this far. All that's left is to speak with the Lord. Stay focused, Michelle. The pieces I have still don't fit together yet. As Morgana told it, the Lord was a cruel man from the moment she first saw him. And he wasn't much different in the swordsman's telling of the events either. Are those portrayals the full picture of what kind of man he is? Will adding his perspective do anything but amplify Morgana's hatred? And if he really is exactly the man he's been made out to be, then how do you explain his internal struggles from the third door? Did his core personality change with the times? Everyone else I've met has been fundamentally the same, though. Are you the exception, Jacopo?
The name Jean-Francois went to his head, to be honest.
Morgana found joy in her life during her 3 years at the brothel. She wept about not being given the opportunity to thank them. So maybe Maria is more likely to be able to assuage Morgana's animosity. I'll have to hear what she has to say. I can barely move my right arm. I can't feel my fingers at all. It burns. I've managed this long, but damned if it doesn't hurt.
Why must you hand out miracles for nothing?
I know that voice. I'm looking up at someone. A woman. She's draped in a black fog and I can't make out any details. But even through the darkness, I know immediately who she is. She is Mother. No, she is not my mother. She is...
Why would you even ask such a question, Mother? We're barely holding on as it is, my dear. It's not wrong to expect a little Isn't it supposed to be remuneration? Am I crazy? For our services. No, Mother, it is wrong. Miracles are not to be bartered for. God the Father does not charge for his miracles. So why should we, when I am only borrowing his power? Listen to me, Morgana. Every time you give someone a blessing, you're hurting yourself. If not for the miracle itself, you still deserve some degree of compensation for the pain. I know you're concerned for me, Mother, and I appreciate it very much. But I'm happy with the way things are. I'm happy to be able to help others with my Heavenly Father's power. A power you won't have much longer, my dear, if we can't afford to keep ourselves fed. I'm a saint, aren't I? Yes, you're my sweet little saint. God will not forsake his saint. No matter how difficult it may get, he will always provide me a way to continue doing his work. And you're the mother of that saint, aren't you? Yes, that's right. I conceived you untainted by the hands of a man. Then you must respect his will as well, Mother. It must be our highest priority. You're right. I was wrong, my dear saint. Mother, you agreed with me. You said I was right. So why are you taking money from that man? Mother?
Mother looks over as strange men shove me into a carriage. The look in her eyes sends a chill down my spine. I see her lips moving. She doesn't actually say the words out loud, but I can make out every individual syllable. Because you're worthless to me. Welcome, daughter of God. You'll be performing miracles for me now. And if you cooperate, I can guarantee you'll live more than comfortably.
Miracles are not something to be performed for one single person's benefit.
What?
Miracles are not magic or parlor tricks. They are a precious gift granted to me by my Father in heaven. Using his power for personal gratification is a grave sin. I will do no such thing. I entreat you to think long and hard about your actions. Do away with such selfish desires and dedicate yourself to helping the people. The power you have been given was bestowed upon you by the hand of God. It is not your power. He is merely allowing you to make use of it for a short time. Pride is a sin. Please consider how you conduct yourself.
You're an ignorant, insolent child, aren't you? I bought you. You are my property. You have no right to an opinion.
That is not my opinion. That is the way of the world, as God...
Silence! You're not here to talk. You're here to perform miracles for me and my guests.
As I have already told you, I will do no such thing.
What you will or will not do is my decision, not yours. The Lord says with a sickening laugh, then grabs me by the hair and knocks me to the floor. I beg him to stop, but he isn't listening to a word I say. Cheers! A saint's blood and good fortune to all! I stare vaguely out at the crowd, gathered for the Lord's blood feast. Every time he has guests, he throws another party, and every time he slices another part of my arms or legs open. It isn't long before they're an unsightly web of crisscrossing scars. The Lord sometimes has trouble deciding where to cut, but not out of any sense of sympathy for me. He simply thinks drawing blood from an untouched area of my body will make it more effective. The Lord strips me bare. Perhaps I'll use your stomach today, Saint. I should be able to get some nice pure blood from there.
Stop this. Can you not comprehend what you're doing is an affront to the Lord?
I'm free to do what I wish with my property. Saint or not, you are no different than any of my slaves.
The Lord is greatly displeased with your actions.
Then use your miracle powers to deliver divine punishment on me. Go on. You can do that, can't you?
Your soul will be punished. You may not see the effects now, but you will pay for your sins one day.
You're not as threatening as you think you are, buck-naked girl. Don't give me that look, girl. I have no interest in taking that from you. You'd be lucky to find anyone willing to lay with a girl covered in disgusting scars. All I can do is wait and endure day after day of torture and shame, of the Lord searching for new places to stick his knife. My entire body except for my face is covered in reddish-black wounds. I'm going to eat his arm off.
Anyone, help me. Get me out of here. Please, someone. Oh, Father who art in heaven, I pray for you to lead me unto deliverance. Father, your trials, they are much too great.
I'm gonna gnaw his arm off. Seems appropriate. Morgana. That was much clearer than the first time I saw it. Everything she felt, her struggling, her sincerity, her pain, and her voice. It felt almost as though I was the one going through it all. The Lord. I can understand why Morgana would bear such a powerful grudge against him, considering everything he did to her. Why would he do that, though? Is there some reason, some explanation for his actions? I am thoroughly exhausted, like I've just spent the last several months having my blood drained again and again. My limbs feel like they have boulders tied to them. Just trying to get to my feet makes me dizzy. So cold. She's probably waiting for me by now. I should get going. I have to do this. Move, damn it. Fighting against my body's attempts to succumb to gravity with every step through sheer force of will, I make my way to the courtyard.
Oh, there you are. Thank God you came. Sneaking onto church grounds is a bit unnerving, so if you... Are you alright? You look like you just came back from the dead.
I'm fine. Thank you for coming. Now, to continue our conversation from yesterday.
Whoa, slow down. Who do you think you're convincing? You look about as fine as a fucking corpse. If you're not feeling well, we can always do this some other time. And whoa, what happened to your hand?
It's a minor injury. Nothing of any significance.
Seriously, who do you think you're convincing, man?
I can get around just fine without a few fingers.
You gotta take yourself into consideration, too. You can only run around on raw determination for so long. And imagine how it makes me feel for a second. You asking to talk and showing up like that. If you want to get anything done, you gotta take care of yourself first. Head on back to your room and rest. Let's do this some other day, okay? When you're feeling...
I don't have that kind of time. Noon tomorrow. That's my deadline. I have to take care of everything before then. I know damn well what condition I'm in. But that doesn't change what I need to do. If I don't, I can't save Morgana. I can't get Giselle back.
That makes it all the more important you get your rest.
And when do you suggest I do that, exactly?
Honestly, I don't get why you're in such a damn tizzy. Get a hold of yourself, man.
I am plenty calm.
You sure don't look it. You're already pushing yourself to the edge. I don't want to be responsible for giving you that last nudge. So quit bickering with me, get your ass back, and get some rest.
You don't understand the gravity of the situation. None of you do. You don't grasp how great an effect stopping what happens tomorrow will have. I have to keep moving, even if it means crawling through the dirt. If I don't, not only will I fail to make things better, Morgana's almost certainly got even worse fates in store for all of you, so long as her curse lives on. I'm the only one here who knows what awaits.
So that makes you what? A prophet or something then?
Not exactly, no. But in the terms of this time period, that would be the most apt description. Do you not believe me?
Well, you know, that is asking a lot.
That's fine. You don't have to. But at the very least, I want you to believe that I genuinely believe something terrible is going to happen tomorrow if I don't do something. Whoa. Did anybody else, see that flash? Really weird, that, glitch that happened just now? Okay. That I don't think I have time to waste. That I think I don't have time to waste. Whatever. All I need you to do is tell me what you know. Could you do that for me?
Assuming you actually are a prophet or whatever, why don't you just, get the hell out of town? Say fuck it, this is too much, and vanish into the night. No one's gonna blame you if you do. Hell, is anyone even gonna notice you do anything if you succeed?
I'm not in this for attention or praise. I cannot sit idly by knowing what I know. Seeing what has happened and what will. Knowing what Morgana went through, what she felt. I can't abandon her. Not anymore. I can't let my knowledge go to waste. While it is true that the mansion will continue to be wrapped in darkness so long as Morgana's curse remains in effect, and nothing can be put to rest until I do something about that, that's not my sole motivation anymore. I sincerely want to help Morgana. It happened again! This is so weird how this little flash glitch is happening right now. And I'm not playing or anything, that's an actual glitch in the game I've never noticed before. Giselle, is this what you meant when you told me you wanted me to save her?
You seem like the kind of fellow who's always fretting about something or other. You don't know how to take it easy, do you?
Nope.
Though I guess in a way, that's kind of why you can fight so hard, huh? Alright, you win. I'll talk. Anything you want to know, I'll tell you.
Thank you very much.
But you sit your butt down first.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Morgana said that?
She did. She described her 3 years there as one of the brightest periods of her life.
Huh, who'd have thought? Damn, that's kind of really great to hear.
Did she never tell you herself how she felt?
She never really made much of an attempt to be part of the group. It was like she had these colossal walls all around her.
I can see that.
Yeah, so I always kind of felt like I never knew if I was sticking my nose in too far or not,
She appreciated what you and the other women did for her. After the raid 4 years ago, she ended up in the hands of a slave trader. As she was being transported, she said this with tears in her eyes. I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to people very dear to me.
Well, damn. So is that, absolutely 100% exactly what she said? You're not just pulling it out of your ass, are you?
Those were her exact words, yes. As hard as it may be to believe.
Nah, I believe you. I'm just surprised is all. Maria, you're lovable. Shut up.
Shut up, Maria. We love you.
I mean, just, wow. Yeah. If I didn't known that was how she felt, Maybe I could have been a little friendlier with her.
You weren't friendly with her?
Not especially. I mean, that's not to say I was cold or anything. It's just that all the girls kept a bit of a distance from her. Not because we didn't like her, but because that's what it looked like she wanted. Some distance. None of us were really cut out for the caretaker gig. As much as we'd love to be some kind of mother figure for her, we just didn't have it in us.
Who was closest to her?
He's dead.
The slave.
Huh? What's this about a slave?
There was a young man, a slave who participated in the revolt at the Lord's Manor, who saved Morgana's life.
Yeah, that's the guy. He was the closest of any of us to her. Or at least, he gave her the most attention.
And he's
6 feet under.
That's unfortunate.
What can you do? People come and go. That's just the way of things.
I thought that maybe if he were still alive, that would improve our chances of saving Morgana.
Improve our chances? There's only one way about it. We smash the Lord's fucking skull in and take his key.
That's not an option. Doing that will not alleviate her hatred. Would you be willing to accompany us when we go into the observation tower?
Huh? Me? Why?
I want you to be there to say something to her.
I'll say whatever you want me to say once you've gotten her out of the tower.
Don't you think being able to hear the voice of someone she cares for when she's finally set free would do more to pull her out of the darkness than anything else?
That's all the more reason it can't be me.
Why not?
Like I've been saying, I was never that tight with her. I kept my distance. I can't do anything. Not with the reasons you've given me for why she's so full of hatred.
I have no other options, though.
You know, actually, well, I doubt this'll do much in the way of getting rid of her grudge. There is something I was supposed to give her, but never got the chance.
Oh?
It's nothing special, just a rinky-dink little necklace. But if you get the chance, would you mind giving it to her?
If anyone, that should come from you.
It's not from me. It was supposed to be from the slave. He got it for her as a birthday present, but that was the day the brothel got raided. So yeah, that's the story. Make sure she gets it, would ya?
Okay, I will.
Thanks, man. Well, now that that's out of the way, I should split. Best of... There you are! You weren't in your room. I was worried sick.
What are you two doing here?
You're going to talk to the Lord tonight, right? So... there's a chance you might be able to set the Saintess free. No way am I going to miss that.
That's why you're here.
That, and to say goodbye. I want for them to make reparations as soon as the girl's released.
Do you feel the same way, Nellie?
If Mel tells me he wants to, then I won't stop him. But he was threatened, so if it's possible, I don't think there's any need for him to rush to be punished. I don't want to lose my brother. Surely there are other ways he can atone. That's reasonable. I do feel guilty about what he was put through. It's not your fault what he did. Anyway, I'm really anxious about tonight, but I'm sure we'll turn out all fine. You'll make it work, won't you, dearest Michelle?
I'll do my best.
Oh, come on, you've got to act confident.
Whoops! Sorry, I'm just dropping things everywhere. Or knocking things off, anyway. Everyone awake?
Take care of my Mel for me, too. He's very fragile, so handle him with care. Like a big old box of china.
Is he really that fragile? Yes, Michelle! Where have you been?
How as for me, if he looks like he's going to do anything he shouldn't, would you stop him for me? I wish I could be there to do it myself, but, well, he insists that only the people directly involved should be there, and I want to respect that.
I was never going to allow anyone to get hurt anyway.
That's good. Thank you. He and the Lord may have caused the girl a great deal of pain, but I still don't want anyone to get hurt.
Some people deserve it, and I say let them have it.
No, Maria, don't be like that.
You're a weird one, little Miss Perfect. You go around letting everyone off the hook for everything, and the whole damn world's gonna come falling down around you.
He did what he did for me, though.
And the Lord? He's only in it for his own profit. Much as he says it benefits the city, it still comes back around in his own pockets.
The Lord's not a bad man, though.
Yeah, I've heard it 1,000 times. No one's a bad person in your eyes, I know.
Now, can we please try to keep things civil?
Yeah, sorry. Bad habit, I know. I talk a lot of rot, but I don't really mean half of it.
Same.
I do think he's much better than the old Lord, though.
Hold on a second. What did you just say?
He's better than the old.
When did the current Lord take his place?
4 years ago?
What? Morgana was 9 years old when she was at the Lord's Manor. 7 years ago. Maria, were you ever at the Lord's Manor at any time 7 years ago?
Nah, I was never hired by anyone there.
Then when? She didn't have any interaction with the Lord 7 years ago. Now it all makes sense. How did I not consider this possibility sooner? I know what kind of man he is, and I know the people he had around him. Maria, is the slave actually dead? A little bit more.
You better have a damn good reason for this. I came here because you said you had something important to discuss. Now care to tell me who the hell this white-haired man is and what he's doing here? You neglected to mention we'd be having company.
I'm the one who asked him to arrange this meeting with you.
And who the hell would you be?
He's an angel. Or a prophet.
What? Did you both finally snap under the pressure?
I'll leave it for you to decide what you think I am. I will say, though, that I know everything. I know you've got a girl imprisoned in the observation tower, and I know you're taking her blood and calling it medicine, passing it out at the church.
Which one of you squealed?
No one told him anything. He just knew. He knows everything, including my deepest desires and what happens in my next life. He's probably peering into your soul this very moment.
You've completely lost it, I see. Well, how you got your information doesn't matter. All I need to know is this. What are you hoping to gain from it? Wealth? My downfall? What?
Morgana's freedom. I want you to give me your key, and then I want you to tell me your story. I've come here for the future, from the world after Morgana's death. Her soul courses with hatred for the three of you, and she's placed a curse of eternal suffering on your souls.
Has everyone at this damn table gone mad? Did you seriously think I would believe that nonsense?
Don't interrupt me.
What a bitch, shut up.
My objective is not so much to rescue Morgana's physical body from the tower, but to save her soul from an eternity of loathing. I can't achieve that on my own, however. Because I am not from this time, I have no direct interaction with her or anyone else here until just recently. In order to make her have a change of heart, I needed to gather the truth from the people who are in this time. And I suspect that you hold the last piece of the puzzle. The biggest piece. That you have a far deeper connection with Morgana than anyone else here. No, I'm all but certain of it now. Your perspective is crucial to accomplishing my goal. Tell me your whole story, please. How you ended up capturing and imprisoning Morgana, what you thought and felt along the way. Your truth will get through to her, I know it. That will be the turning point in all this. Her curse will be no more, and you will all be returned to the paths you were meant to walk. Everyone will have their salvation.
Someone throw this madman out.
I won't do it.
Neither will I. Damn worthless curs. I'll call the guards then. Who do you think I am exactly? I am the lord of this land. Under ordinary circumstances, I'd never so much as deign to speak with you, lowly peasant. Now get out of my sight, or I'll take it as an act of aggression and you'll find yourself without a head.
In this room right now, you're not a lord. You're a lone man.
Until you hand over your key, we're not letting you leave. And you'll find there aren't any guards for you to call. You're all alone on this estate.
Your preoccupation with staying out of sight played right into our hands. Accept your defeat, Lord. We've already agreed to set the witch free.
Cowardly worms.
Ironic coming from you.
I didn't think you'd turn... sorry, I'm so sorry I made you British. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't think you'd turn coat quite so eagerly. The nun and your kid sister are in on it too, I take it.
We were only working for you. We never felt any sort of allegiance to you.
Loyalty founded on what one has to gain, or lose, is far more resilient than uncertain, fluctuating feelings. But it would appear this white-haired man shattered that foundation. How long have you been colluding with them, Kerr?
I arrived in this era 2 days ago.
What? 2 days? In just 2 days you got these worms dancing for you?
They are not dancing for me. I merely spoke with them and they listened.
You're a disturbed man. You couldn't possibly have won these two over in a mere 2 days.
He's no ordinary man. As we've said, he knew everything. While I was talking to him, it felt like he was looking directly into my soul.
He's definitely an unusual one, yeah. It felt like he's known me my whole life, even though he just showed up out of nowhere 2 days ago. I didn't believe what he was saying at first. But he knew things I couldn't possibly know. My secret wish, something I've never told anyone before. I don't know what kind of tricks you're playing. Now I know why I've never seen you around. If you'd been lurking around in the city for longer, sticking your nose where it didn't belong, I would have taken notice sooner or later. I'm impressed. In only 2 days, you managed to convince them both to betray me and set me up. I am indeed the one in charge of this operation. So if it's the witch you're after, I am the obvious target, yes. And the 2 dogs there surely have some pent-up rage. So I take it you're gonna tie me up, then torture me till I tell you what you want to know.
That's not a bad idea. What do you say? Give me the word and he's in ropes.
Wait, we'd agreed we weren't getting rough.
Oh man, but I want to go rough. I have no interest in solving this problem with violence. We are here to uncover the truth. We needn't exchange blows, only words.
Anyway, if we were going to beat out of him, we would have done so as soon as he walked through the door. We discussed this beforehand, we're only talking. No one's getting into any fights, physically or verbally.
That's right.
Well, it looks like I've got no way out, so you've got me. I surrender. Take my key. Go open the tower doors.
What? That was easier than expected. Your key is not important right now. Your perspective is what I seek. Why did you make it so the lock required 3 keys? One person is more than adequate for the job. So why split it 3 ways?
Is that any of your concern, Kerr?
Was it because it was too much weight to bear alone? You didn't actually want to imprison Morgana, did you? Somewhere you went wrong. You backed yourself into a corner and couldn't escape.
I'm done listening to you.
Am I right or am I wrong, Lord? Or should I say, Jacopo?
Jacopo? But isn't his name, Jean-Francois Barnier? That's Lord Barnier to you, you insolent child. You seem to be a bit confused. I am son of the House of Barnier, which means I'm royalty.
No, you are not. I don't know how you came to start calling yourself Barnier, but there's not a drop of royal blood flowing through your veins. The slave revolt at the Lord's Manor 7 years ago. You were there, weren't you? During the revolt, you helped Morgana escape. That's right. You saved her life once. That was you. You were the slave from 7 years ago.
Slave? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Me, a slave? Like hell, a former slave can become royalty.
You did it, though. You went from slave to lord.
Enough. I don't know who's filling that white-haired head of yours with this dribble, but I'm done listening to it. Say another word and I'll throttle you myself. Keep slandering my name, I dare you.
Maria told me the slave from back then was dead. She didn't mean it literally, though. She meant he wasn't who he used to be anymore.
Maria, you've been talking to her, too?
Because she was afraid if Morgana found out, it would only serve to throw her deeper into despair. The man who had once saved her was now responsible for keeping her imprisoned.
Do your ears not work, Kerr? I said I've had enough.
I need your perspective. There's more to the story. I'm certain of it. I refuse to believe you acted only for your own benefit, only to cause her pain.
If you want the key so damn badly, then take it! Set the witch free. I don't give a damn. But if you say another word, I'll rip your fucking tongue out.
Again, the key is not what I need right now. I need your story.
Are you deaf or just an imbecile?
Your perspective is crucial to saving Morgana's soul.
Enough.
When you were a slave, you helped Morgana escape from the Lord.
Silence.
And you spent the next 3 years with her.
Just one more fucking word, I swear to God.
So how did you end up here? How did the boy from 7 years ago go from saving her to locking her up and stealing her blood? There's no excusing your actions, no. But please, I need you to tell me how you got to this point. Enough! Michel! The next thing I see is a dagger in his hand, pointed at me. I reflexively try to push myself out of the path of his charge with my dominant hand, which sends a jolt of excruciating pain up my right arm.
I'll rip your fucking head off!
The Lord swings his arm up, and the necklace spills from my pocket, making a metallic clink as it hits the floor. When he sees it, his eyes go wide for a brief moment. Of course, I'm just as slack-jawed as him.
What the hell is going on?
Why? How How? Why am I looking at a familiar cloud of inky black darkness? There's no one to answer my question, though. And no time to think about it either. I have to make a decision, right now. The Lord, dagger raised, is quickly approaching. Off to the side, the cloud of darkness is expanding.
We know this darkness. And if it's coming from the necklace, that means Jacopo must have brought it here, without him even realizing it. I reach my hand into the darkness spreading from the necklace. And as soon as I do... What? What the hell is this? What's that black stuff?
Ugh. The blackness swells, consuming us all.
No, stop! What is this? Don't make me. Watch this!
His shouts fade into the distance, and my mind and body are swallowed up entirely. It's the same thing that happens whenever Giselle and I open a door. The same darkness I've gazed into again and again, and again and again in that cursed mansion. That house that exists outside reality. Far, far off into the distance, I can see a gentle light, like a hole ripped out of the darkness. Green grass and colorful flowers rustling in the wind. I don't understand. That darkness, it was never present in the past. It was, I thought, a phenomenon restricted to the realm of the dead. So what is it doing here? But even my questions are, in short order, swallowed up by the void. Soon, my body ceases to retain its form, leaving only my consciousness to view the sights, sounds, and emotions of someone's past. I become an observer, as I have many times before.
Okay. So we're gonna stop for today. That's a twist. That's a twist if I've ever read one. God, it's every time. I can't even describe how hard my heart is pounding. I'm probably going to have to take some calming magnesium. Did anyone suspect it? I love this story, and next time on Monday, we're going to go into this darkness and find out what needs to be revealed from Jacopo, who is, in fact, the slave who taught Morgana kindness and love and joy. And how the fuck did he get to this point? Fucking Jacopo. God, I love him. I hate him, but I love him. Man. Man. So on that note, thank you for watching. Please stay safe out there. Keep washing your hands, wear your mask, like Yukimasa said.
Wear your mask. Practice social distancing.
And I will see you on Monday, just a few short days away, for more of Door 8. In fact, the conclusion of Door 8. And we'll be getting into the beginning of the finale of the house in Fata Morgana. Thank you. And see you then. Whew.